They'll try to suggest you off course, to nudge you off course, to distract you off course. There's another revolution coming, and it's going to be led by a group of unique and courageous people like you. People who've had it with the way things are. People who've picked out their mountain in life and said, I'm going to the top. And if someone tells you you can't climb mountains, you don't have any experience, you tell them, I'm going to the top. And if your neighbor tells you, come on, choose another mountain, that one's too rocky, what are you going to tell them? And if someone tells you, let's go over here where it's not so steep, what are you going to tell them? And if someone says network marketing, what are you going to tell them? And if your friend tells you, come on, let's climb this one, that one's too slippery, what are you going to tell them? If anyone tells you you can't go up, it's too rocky, too steep, too slippery, you say, listen here, I'm going up. You're either going to see me waving from the top or dead on the side. I'm not coming back. There's something about the do-or-die attitude. It's almost like when someone has a do-or-die attitude, time, fate, and circumstances seem to get together, have a hasty conference, and say, they say they're going to do it or die. We might as well let them have it. The people in this arena are special. You're special because you've already rekindled that independent spirit. You've already said that you're not going to conform to negative pressures around you. You've all said enough, I've had it, and I'm not living like this anymore. You are the people who want to set big goals and aspirations for yourselves and your families. People who want to live in a country where families are brought together again instead of being torn apart. People who want a country where once again owning your own business and controlling your own destiny is commonplace. People who want a country where every man, woman, and child is treated with equal respect and dignity. People who will pay any price so their families will not live with the legacy of maxed out credit cards and unfulfilled promises. Today, we stand at the genesis of a new revolution, and people like you are going to lead it. Theodore Roosevelt said these words decades ago, and I think they're particularly appropriate today. He said, we see across the dangers of the great future, and we rejoice as a giant refreshed. The great victories are yet to be won. The greatest deeds yet to be done. I've dreamt of a company that can give us the opportunity to make these dreams come true, by allowing us all to fulfill our own true potential. I love you all. Thank you very much.
Chapter 7, Skill Number 4, Following Up with Your Prospects. In MLM, they say the fortune is in the follow-up. I think that's true, because most people in MLM don't follow up at all, at least not as professionals. You need to understand some important concepts if you're going to master this skill. Concept number 1, follow up is doing what you said you'd do. If you say you're going to call at a specific time, then do it. The network marketing profession is full of people who get all excited one minute and then go missing in action the next. Run your business through a physical or electronic calendar. Be the person who does what they say they're going to do. People will respect that. I sold real estate the year before I got involved in network marketing. My father and his partner owned the company. One day I was in the office and a gentleman by the name of Chuck Aycock showed up for a 10 a.m. meeting with my dad. It was 9:55 a.m., and my dad wasn't in the office yet. I greeted Chuck and told him I was sure my dad would arrive soon. At 10 a.m. exactly, Chuck got up and said, "It's 10 o'clock. Your dad isn't here. Have him call me if he wants to reschedule the meeting." I couldn't believe it. He came all the way to the office just to leave 30 seconds after the appointment? I told him, "Mr. Aycock, I'm sure he'll be here any minute. There's no need to leave." And then he told me something I never forgot. He said, "Son, you are either early or you are late. He's late, and my time is valuable. Have him give me a call if he'd like to reschedule." And he left. My dad showed up at 10:10 a.m. expecting to meet Chuck. I told him what happened, and he was as stunned as I was. My dad wasn't habitually late or anything. That particular morning, he was just a little casual with his time. He rescheduled the appointment, and I noticed over the years that my dad was always early for his appointments with Mr. Aycock. What's the lesson in this story? For me, the lesson was that people respect a person who does what they say they're going to do. People also respect a person who values their own time. If you say you're going to follow up at a specific time or in a specific way, either do it or reschedule well ahead of your appointment. Concept number 2. The only reason to have an exposure is to set up the next exposure. When I got started, I would conclude every exposure by saying, "What do you think?" No one told me that was one of the worst things to do. It felt like a natural thing to say, but my results were terrible. I asked one of my early mentors for help, and he said, "Eric, the only reason to have an exposure is to set up the next exposure." That blew my mind. I thought the reason to have the exposure was to get the person signed up. He went on to explain that if you finish each exposure by setting up the next one, the prospect will eventually become educated on the opportunity and make an informed decision. The goal in my mind changed from getting the prospect on the first exposure to just keeping the process alive by setting up the next follow-up exposure, then the next, and the next, until they made a decision.
Every day, everywhere in the world, people wake up, get dressed, and head off to make a living, following the path they've chosen. But deep down inside, there's always a desire for a better way, a simpler way, a legitimate way to make more money, have more free time, and enjoy life rather than just work until we die. We have found a 100% legitimate, inexpensive, logical system with a valuable product and real-time commissions. Generate income with just a cell phone and an internet connection.
Recording in progress.
From anywhere at any time. Get started now, get paid now. Do you look for ways to make more money? Ask for info and we will send you more information. Let's talk.
So let's talk this evening, everyone. Hey, this is your friend and brother Gregory McHale away from Lansing. I'll be your presenter this evening. It's always a pleasure and a host to be here to be able to share this content with you. And hopefully you will get some sound tonight. And so let me know if you do hear the video. Did you hear that first video? Anybody on there? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, it was loud and clear, bro.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Teamwork makes the dream work. So we're going to make some dreams come true tonight. So again, I just want to let you know you're in a special place to be here tonight, and want to make sure we don't stay here before you long, but we do want to make sure we put some content in front of you that's really guaranteed to really change your life once you apply yourself and really take hold of what we have here. So my name is Gregory McGee. Call me Professor G, too tall, because I'm actually really tall. And that's my lovely wife, Renee, of 34, going on 35 years. So we are consistent folks. A royal priesthood set apart, and so she's still smiling, still beautiful as ever. And so I'm coming from corporate America, both my wife and I we come to this thing called freedom, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight and how you can accomplish that for you and your family. But traditionally from the same corporate, same structure, go to school, get a job, work until you die, kind of long time to end up with nothing. And we want to be able to start changing that. Somebody in your family is going to be the first one to pursue something. Someone, I don't know who it is, but someone's going to be the first one to pursue something. It may be a college degree. It may be starting a business. It may be building a house. It may be doing anything that someone in the family chose to be first. And in my case here, my family, I'm the first one to pursue wealth on purpose, intentionally. And so you're going to have some ups and some downs. You're going to have some highs and some lows. You're going to have a whole bunch of stuff. But I like to have a theme each and every time we come out here. And I got some good news for you. Oh, man, I'm trying to stay strapped down in my seat. But I got some good news for you. Because the theme tonight, y'all, is everything is rigged in your favor. Oh, man. Can somebody type that in the chat box? Listen, I got to have some cooperation and some participation tonight. I need everything. Everything is rigged in my favor. So you got to type that out. So put that out there so you know you're putting it out there in the universe. You know, when you take your first step, God will take his steps and help you move along on this path here. Everything is rigged in my favor. I was listening to this gentleman earlier today, and he says, when you're getting told no, there's some greatness, some great things that's going to happen on your life, because no is saying something is rigged in your favor. A no is a positive thing when things are rigged in your favor, because you're on your way to greatness. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to get there. So again, I'm so glad to be here, you guys. We're going to be here just for a short period of time. We do this Monday through Saturday to share this information with you. Some people get it the first time. Some people get it the 10th time. Some people get it the 20th time. And can I tell you, it's some folks don't get it in no time. But I want to let you know here that we're in a special place in history, and you're here now. The last 20 years, people have been actually having their money in the bank, 95%, and getting less than 1% for the last 20 years. The last 20 years, putting money someplace and nothing is happening with that money. It's actually losing value. And so now we're in 2022, June, to be able to see what is rigged in my favor. Man, let me introduce the GS partners, y'all. We were out here in Dubai during this event, and I want you to feel what we was feeling while we was out there, actually in the room. Woo! Wow. So I want to welcome you to GS Partners. You're in a special place, a special time now. We have offices around the world, partners around the world, and you're here now to be able to become a part of that. And so you've been positioned now to be in this special place to participate in this cryptocurrency rewards program that's designed to help make you build wealth and have you have liquidity while you're building your wealth in the process. The metaverse is one of those things that's unique in the market space that has no limits, no boundaries. And that's why everything is going to be rigged in your favor when you see what's going on here. It's a global money system, and it's a gateway to this crypto space that has no matching whatsoever. Nothing out there in the marketplace is doing what's going on in the crypto space. And so I don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to be concerned whether you understand anything that's going on or not. Don't worry about that. You're not going to know everything because there's a lot of stuff going on. We're in this new digital era now. I remember when the internet first came out and a lot of people were against the internet. Can you imagine? It's 20 years later. You can't imagine being without it. When you put something in a search bar and it gives you 999,000 choices. We used to have to go to the library to go look up something, pull out the little index card and go to the aisle and go find the book to get the information. Now everything is at your fingertip. This program here is at your fingertip. This digital world, metaverse, meta mining, meta trading, meta brokerage, meta states, city developments, NFT, meta markets, meta gaming, and so much more, featuring fintech innovators, licensed and accredited, regulated, top 3 company in the world, brokerage, top 3, not the 20th, not the 50th, not just getting started, but the top 3 is in the world is your partner. That's why everything here is rigged in your favor. We got sports champions coming along. Can y'all say it? Can y'all know? If you are a boxer, can you box all your life? No, you cannot. Do you know if you're a doctor and you do surgery or you pull teeth or you do whatever you do you know you can't do it all your life? Do you know if you run track, you know you can't do that all your life? Anything that you're doing, you cannot do all of your life. Something's going to come into place. So you're going to have to put yourself in position to have your money make money. And how do you do it? Well, you got to be on a program that's going to be rigged in your favor here, y'all. So take a look at this Lydian world. Take a look. Take a look.
The origins of life in the universe. First stages in human evolution. First simple technologies that started making our life easier. Welcome to Lydian World. We are glad to introduce our multi-ecosystem. Here, the rewards are generated thanks to the fees applied to each service or product behind an income resource such as staking pools, credit card swipe commissions, mining fields, assisted trading, non-fungible tokens marketplace, interactive airdrops, mainnet masternodes, trivia games, etc. Available on platforms and devices. More than 3 million users expected by the end of 2022 could reach a milestone of $5 billion in total resources. Lydian World, the place where you can explore, earn, and have fun.
Y'all, we're just getting started here. This Lydian World is a wonderful place that we're all positioned in. If you're new here tonight or this morning or afternoon, whenever this message should catch you, we want to help you get positioned here as well too, because this is a global platform designed to create passive income for life, and give you maximum liquidity in the crypto space. Some of the things that people are doing in the crypto space now is actually trying to buy a coin, and they're going to sit back and kind of waiting for it to go up. So like, okay, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm just going to sit here and wait. Well, in the Lydian world, what we're doing is that we're taking it to another level, and we're putting ourselves in position so that we have liquidity and being paid while the coins in our program are going up in value. So you get the best of all worlds. And think of it like Monopoly, because everybody knows that about that Monopoly game. People were like kind of if you were winning, you were kind of really a bad person. I mean, you kind of was showing out a little bit if you were had all the different pieces around the world. And everybody who had that money in the Monopoly game wishing that was real money. Well, we're doing this metaverse here, and we're doing it with real money that you can pay your rent with, you can pay your mortgage with, you can pay your car payment with, you can pay something off with. You're able to do all that stuff here in this virtual space. Quiet citizenships. When you learn how this thing really, really, really works, you'll understand why we're so excited, why everything is actually rigged in your favor when you get yourself started. So think about this. Everything comes with vision. Everything comes with somebody thinking about how they can make an impact in the world. And this is our chairman here, and he just started off way before December of 2020 when we launched. Already had something in mind, but he wasn't doing it to really involve those on the network marketing space. He was just going to have a blockchain and some other tools that were going to be coming out. But then he opened it up to us, you and I, so that we'd have another way, a better way to be able to make a living, get paid income, get paid daily, weekly, and monthly, never having to look back. And you're here now. Alexander Kostodow is our Chief Technical Officer. We're in the second wave of this program here, and we got so many people that are coming along with us for this ride because they're saying, listen, I cannot play soccer all my life. I'm going to get old, something going to hurt. Listen, I might pull a hamstring or something. And so everybody is coming and latching onto this program here because they want to have their money make money, and they want to get their money being working for them for life. Can you imagine being a place to be able to do that?
We're in Dubai right now.
Check it out.
Something small, but some big money. Check it out as you can see.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
I have to display it to the world because they pay. You pay and we play. Check it out. In total, we have 10 Cullinan trucks, but we're promoting, I think 4. We're showing out a little bit. Some small, but the pay is big. Everything I do is big. Actually, this is where I'm standing at. The tallest building in the world, but I'm gonna say the biggest building in the world. We're doing small things for a big price. Check it out. Check it out, check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out, check it out. And yes, I'm gonna push this company on you. They pay. And when they pay, I'll play.
Hey, he said he going Floyd Money Mayweather, the only human being on earth that earned $1 billion in the ring. So I think he knows a little bit about money. That's like taking a little and turning it into a lot. So what you're here now, why you're positioned here, because the Big Three partnership is taking place now and it's already underway. We launched the first metaverse brokerage on the blockchain in the world. Can y'all say the Amazon of money? Not the second, not the third, not on trial basis, but the first launch, because everything the chairman does is he launches. And you're here now to be able to put yourself in position with the top 3 brokerage company in the world that's going to position you to get paid daily, weekly, and monthly, and for life. Is that okay? Man, I'm telling you, it's just so rigged in your favor, you don't even know what to do. And so we got metaverse folks that are coming on, that we're attracting all these different people. They're going to be more. And now we got the metaverse being expanded to be able to now do property in the linear world, virtual property, where you can actually pick a plot of land. You can actually build a virtual building. You can actually build a bookstore and put some virtual books in there and have some tea and coffee. Man, this thing is so beautiful. And you're here now. Let me show you how this thing works. We went out to Dubai. We were out there in Dubai and in a special place because the chairman was coming out with a lot of new technology and a lot of new things to build wealth. December 1 of 2020, he said, listen, I need you to get an education, a financial education. I need you to have patience. It's almost like somebody saying, I need you to trust what I'm doing because I've done some things before. I've done it before. I've made a lot of money before. He's a multi-billionaire. He is not experimenting. So he put us in this place to have first movers advantage all along the way. You're here right now, right in front of me. First movers advantage. We are planting money trees. Oh my goodness. Money trees. These metaverse certificates, by design, are going to pay you weekly, 300% based on the certificate that you choose. Did you spend some money? No, you did not. We just showing you how to keep your money. Oh my goodness. And because BD Swiss is a full brokerage house, they trade amongst everything. They got 1.6 million customers, y'all. They have been in business for 12 years, never lost any money on the accounts that they manage. Who's managing your money? If you got a 401k, you losing money. We're not financial advisors. We're not telling you what to do, but you want to be with somebody that's traded over $1 trillion. And then we got these meta trading, and then we have meta mining. You have all these different instruments here that put you in position to build wealth and get paid for life. man, it's rigged in your favor. I'll tell you, when the chairman said have patience, this is back in December of 2020, have patience, have patience, have patience. And we get to this thing now where we now are partners with him along on this journey of building wealth, and we get to bring our families along. We get to bring our communities along. We get to bring our churches along. We get to get those disenfranchised, bring them along. The wealthy, bring them along. Those who don't understand money, bring them along. Everybody is on this journey right here. Oh, it's just so, I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing here. So let's get to the money here so we can get to this thing and get out of here. One of the things about money is you got to have a disclaimer about it, because when you're talking a lot about it, some people get offended and some people embrace it. I hope for those that are here that you embrace what we're doing here. And I hope you take advantage of what's before you. That's why there is no second Amazon. Everybody's not ready. There is no second Microsoft. There's not. You're here now to have something that's not, there's not going to be a second. It's not going to be a second, okay? So this is a presentation to explain the products and community rewards potential offered by GS Partners and GSB. Every effort has been made to accurately represent GS Partners rewards plan and its income potential. All earnings or income examples will depend solely on the ideas, techniques, knowledge, skills, and time vested into your independent business. GS Partners and GSB does not guarantee any results or success level and is not responsible for any decisions that you make in relation to promoting our products or your business. All income examples used by GS Partners are not to be considered average earnings. We are not financial advisors, and we are not providing you financial advice. First movers advantage, right? Talk to me, Corey. So let's talk about this. This program here is designed to pay you 9 generations. Some people just say, listen, I'm just going to talk to one person. That's fine. You can still win 3 generations. But we just want to put this out in front of you because we don't want anybody to leave anything on the table. Don't leave anything on the table. This program is designed for you just to sponsor 3 people, talk to 3 people with $33 and a dream and a hope and looking for a promise. And this is here. You sponsor 3 people here, it'll pay you 9 generations, and that's up to 50% of the income coming into this company. They're pushing 50% back out. Half of every dollar is going out. So what does it look like in money? Show me the money, G. What does it look like in money? This is the rewards potential here. Now I'm just showing you, this is just one income stream on this platform here that has thousands. I know that went right over your head, and I know you didn't hear what I just said, even though I just used words and I just said what I said. This is just one of the income streams here, and we have thousands. Can't get into all that tonight because I want you to sleep. This is not a guarantee of income, but it's merely an example of how the rewards plan works. No income claims are being made. This is an example of how the commission structure works. When X does Y, Z happens, okay? So X marks the spot. This is exponential growth. This is what the wealthy do. They do leverage and they work in systems. Here you can sponsor 3 people, talk to 3 people with $33. And if they decide to keep their money, they're going to put their money to work. You're going to earn 15% of those 3 people that kept their money and they exchange it for assets, actually. And they actually exchange it for a position to be able to get into this metaverse thing that actually pays for life. Not a far reach, but it's all fair, right? But then those 3 are saying, listen, well, if you can do it, can I do it as well too? Yes. So now let's say, can I earn 15%? Absolutely. So they can tell their 3. So each of these 3 tell their 3, that's 9. They earn 15% and you earn 5%. Let me see, what did you do? You got started. I'm about to rig it. I got to get it some more, okay? So this thing goes down. It just keeps going. Now, this is a perfect theoretical example. And y'all know perfection is a hard thing, right? Well, let's just say if it was, and if it did, this is what can happen. This is just one income stream here that can occur on a monthly basis. This could take a year, it could take a month, it could take 6 weeks, take 9 weeks. It just depends on everybody's dream. What's driving you? What's going to help you do something when things are rigged in your favor? What you going to do? What you going to do? And so this is what's going on here. $51,000. This can happen on a monthly basis, paid into an asset because it's paid to you in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Tether, the top 3 cryptocurrencies in the entire planet. There's some other stuff hovering around there, but we got some more stuff to come. Don't worry about it. And then we talked about those metaverse certificates, y'all. We can't get into the weeds on all that, but just think about it for just a moment. There's about 11 of them. Now, I just showed you 51,000. So you don't have to worry about coming out of your pocket anymore because the system already created the income. You just got started. So the $399 is a middle range certificate here, and it just puts you in position to be able to now Let me put this thing to work. You mean to tell me I can put $3.99 to work? I can load this thing up and I can get paid on this in 2 different ways, well, 3 different more ways? Yes. And I can earn direct commission on every time somebody saved their money, every time I help them keep their money and turn it into wealth. Absolutely. And then they can do the same thing. Absolutely. And then the next people can do the same thing. Absolutely. That's why, man, we talk about that Robert Kiyosaki model. We're talking about what is it, man, what is it to be on the business side? What is it to be able to have my time and get my money back? What is that like? Man, that's what it's all about. And this is the investor side too, because now I get to make my money, make money. And so when I'm making money, my money making money, I'm making money without working. I know that went past you. I'm making my money, make money. I'm making money because you ain't making money if you're not making money and not working. You're just not. You're just not. So here we're talking about $399 certificate that when you keep that, that's an asset. You get to turn it, you get to light that sucker up and then start getting paid on that. And this can create this kind of income. It could take 9 weeks, 9 months, 9 years. I don't know what it's going to take you, but I'm just saying if everybody just did this, this is what can happen here. So this program is so designed, it's so cool that you want to know how to spend all this money.
Introducing the most flexible crypto card in the world. 5 traditional currency accounts, including USD, GPB, EUR, CNY, and JPY. Currency exchange rates better than high street banks. Manage all your crypto and traditional currencies with one simple platform. Add funds to your account via bank transfer, credit and debit card, or crypto proceeds. Spend or withdraw your funds anywhere credit and debit cards are accepted. Exclusive plastic, aluminum, stainless steel, gold-plated, and solid gold cards available. 24/7 global support in multi-languages. 24/7 professional concierge services. Up to 40% discounts on hotel and travel. Instant rewards from high street retailers. Fast delivery to over 100 countries. Order your GS Lifestyle card today.
Wow. You get a chance to get into something here where everything is rigged in your favor. And it doesn't make a difference if other people are not coming along with you for the journey. That's why when people are saying no to you, they are disqualifying themselves. And I didn't even realize that. Do you know how many times I've disqualified myself for opportunities because I was too ignorant to understand what was going on? I'm not talking about none of y'all, illustration purposes. Some people are going to disqualify themselves to the promise because everything that this chairman has done has been rigged in our favor. Register for free. Get the referral link of the person who shared it with you. Fund your accounts, $33, and then you grab all the assets you want on here. Get these metaverse certificates because you want to get these metaverse certificates because it's going to open up these planting of them trees, these money trees. You can get as many as you want. And if you load these suckers, you're just going to create all this untold wealth that you're not going to be able to keep up with. And so when you're doing all that, you're going to position them in this living world and everything's just going to start happening from there. And we're just going to keep duplicating it and keep duplicating it. And keep duplicating it. And that $33, it just opened up some more stuff for you. Take advantage of it or you don't. If you want to share with people, like Mr. Delco was saying earlier, what's going to happen is you're going to see all this stuff happening where you stepped out in fear. And then when you saw some things happening, now you're ready to open your mouth. And so this $33 puts you in position. When you open your mouth, you're going to earn commissions instantly because people are going to see it and they're going to get started. The ship would have already sailed. The rocket would have already taken off. We're going to have shuttle service because the rocket's already gone. And so you can earn on membership subscriptions, direct commissions instantly, GS card swipes. This is so powerful. This right. I have to hurry up, y'all. Try to me in my heart. Do y'all know? I can't help it. Listen, y'all. GS card swipes. Can you imagine the GS card swipes? When a card swipes all over the entire world and you're a citizen in this metaverse, when things are happening in the place where you're located, you're going to get paid on card swipes. The card swipe that you did not even swipe yourself. This thing is so rigged in your favor, you don't even know what to do. You're getting paid on metaverse certificates. You're getting paid on all the activities happening in the Lydian world that you don't even understand. That's why we say earn while you learn it and exploring. We want to put you in a position to start earning right now. You're going to learn all this stuff. But let's start earning first, right? Let's get set up. This promotion is going on right now. This is like super duper June month. And you got to get this right here, y'all. It's rigged in your favor. You can't even lose here. The chairman has put you and I in position here to win. These metaverse certificates, every certificate you get, you can earn 300% over the next 18 months based on the certificate that you choose. All you're doing is keeping that trading side with 34% in there, and you're going to get paid weekly 4.4% on the value of that certificate. Let's use an example. If I had a $10,000 certificate and I kept my load over there, 3,300, they're going to pay me 300% on my money. So I'm gonna get paid on $30,000 and get paid weekly at 4.15%. Do you see how it's in your favor? Your bank ain't doing it. Your financial planner ain't doing it. Your mama, your daddy ain't doing it. I don't know your mama and your daddy. I just, And then the Meta Broker managed account, when you put every single dollar in there, they are going to double your money. They're going to give you 100% of every dollar you put in there. Every certificate you get right now, between now and July 1st, you have a lifetime double load of that thing. So every dollar you put in there for life, when you put a dollar in there, they're going to double that thing. High leverage trading. And then we got the metaverse, the mining piece. We had some certificates earlier. Now we got the mining ones now. And these mining ones now, they do some great stuff as well too. And you can load it with a bunch of different ways here. Actually take advantage of the 0.002 cents. The chairman is so confident about where we're going here. He's going to let you buy it for less than a penny, half a penny, but he's going to give you 2 cents advantage on every one when you're loading up these certificates. It's like getting a Forex exchange for your money. You get 300% on a certificate on the trading side. On the trading side. You're getting 100% match on the trading side. Y'all, it just gets better and better, y'all. This is what they look like. $49 up to $100,000. And when you load those suckers up there, when you load stuff, they're going to load with you. They're going to run right along with you. You know how you ever seen somebody in track that's really fast and somebody slow is running with them and they was just looking at them? Joseph Hyde, he like this. He just, y'all coming? Y'all coming? Hey, y'all coming? Are you coming? It's rigged in your favor, y'all. There's no, you know how you run out of words. It's like when it's just so profound in your lifetime to have experienced that. You get to restart. I was reading this book, and we're gonna be out of here. And it said, forget those things which are behind. It said, forget it. Forget all the money you lost. Forget all the loves you lost. Forget all the divorces. Forget all that. Forget it. It said, press and keep going straight ahead. Keep going, because I got something for you. Oh, just forget about it. Press. Oh my goodness gracious, man! I remember my daughter, man, when she was a little girl, and the two, they're like 4 or 5 years old, and one little kid across the street, he had on his bicycle. You know how back then, the bike, the pedals go like this, so they can get some momentum, so they don't fall. And so it's going like this. But the little dude across the street, he took his training wheels off. Do you know my daughter came in the house, and she said, "Mom, Dad," and we thinking something was wrong, like somebody was trying to beat her up or something like that. She said, "Dad, come and take your training wheels off right now." She put a demand out there. You got to put a demand out here. You got the platform to be able to do it. It's right here, right now. I took them training wheels off. I don't even think I held the seat for 2 seconds. That girl was gone. Gone. I said, oh my goodness, you have got to take advantage of the stuff that's right here, right before you. Take your training wheels off and let's go. Take them off. I know some of y'all tiptoeing around. Take them off. Or falling to the left, falling to the right. Take them off. Man, get to look at the person that's sharing this with you. Just get to look at the person that's sharing this with you, that's been sharing it with you for I don't know how long, so you can get yourself on this other side of freedom. So I want to thank y'all, man. Listen, I'm so excited and fired up about this. It's hard to sit here in this seat and share this with you, because we know where this thing is going. And we still haven't even gotten started yet. And you're here now. Let's get you started. There's no rhyme or reason when somebody's offering you 300% on your money. There's inflation going on right now. It's whooping everybody's behind. We're putting people in position to have inflation not even an issue. Are you listening to what we're saying? If you get 300% on your money, why are you worried about 8%? If you're getting 100% match on every dollar you put in here, why are you worried about 6%, 7%? You won't even care about the gas prices. I'm not saying, no, I'm not belittling that. I'm just saying, when you get on the other side of something, then those things will not make a difference. So, hey, I want to thank you for listening. We're here 6 days a week, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Come back tomorrow, 12 noon, and we won't be as, Roger he'll be a little more calm than me. But come back tomorrow, 12 o'clock, and then also 9 o'clock. And we want to thank you for listening, man. It's a pleasure to be able to pay homage to freedom and everybody, for all of us being able to take on this journey together. So we'll see you on the white sandy beaches of the world, and we will see you in London coming up in September. And we also have this event. I didn't put the slide in here. My apologies, because we have an event coming up June 18th. And we'll make sure we get that out in front of you so you'll know what's going on. So we'll definitely see you guys on the White Sandy Beach, and we'll see you on the next stream. Good day. Take us on out.
Recording stopped.
When I made this small improvement, my results improved dramatically. We talked earlier about how to professionally invite your prospect to take a look at what you have to offer. At the end of that process, we went through several steps to set up the next exposure, meaning your follow-up call. That was your next appointment. When you make that call, you're going to ask them if they reviewed the material. They'll say, no, I didn't, or they'll say, yes, I did. Let's talk about how you'll set up the next exposure in both cases. If they say no, they didn't have a chance to review the material, it's important you don't show your displeasure at their lack of follow-up. It sounds funny, but a lot of people just jump on their prospects with, I thought you said you'd be able to see it for sure. Obviously, this won't help build that good relationship you're working on. The best way to respond is, that's okay, I understand sometimes life gets busy. When do you think you could do it for sure, for sure? You might say, for sure is a little much, but I've used that for decades in this follow-up situation, and I do it because it works. In any case, use whatever language you'd like to use to set up the next time and walk through the same steps to get the commitment. Once you have it, including the date and the time of the next call, the next exposure, then hang up and call them when you said you would. If you call them at the scheduled time and they still haven't reviewed the material, just repeat the process until they do. Remember, they are setting up the appointment, and you are being the professional by following up like you said you would. If you call the prospect and they say yes, they've reviewed the material, you're going to ask them a few intelligent questions. First, you're not going to ask, what do you think? This just invites the critical part of the prospect's mind to come up with objections to try to sound smart. The best follow-up question I've ever used is, what did you like best? This question will take you in a very positive direction and will give you clues as to the level of their interest. If they say the product, then your next exposure will probably be product-related. If they say financial freedom, then your next exposure will probably be opportunity-related. Another great question to ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being zero interest and 10 being ready to get started right away, where are you right now? With this question, anything over 1 is good. It says they have some interest. Most of the time, you'll get something like a 5 or a 6. No matter what number they give you, all you're going to do is ask them how you can help them get to a higher number. Usually that answer will go along the lines of how they answered, what did you like best? If the answer is very positive and the number is fairly high, you can go directly into the closing process. We'll cover that in the next section. If it isn't an obvious green light, then you just schedule the next exposure. They might want to try the product. So you help them do that and set up a follow-up date, a time to call them, and check on the experience, the next exposure. They might want to understand the compensation plan. So you set up a time to get together and review it, the next exposure. They might want to talk with their spouse. So you send them home with materials they can share with their spouse and set up a date and time when you'll follow up, the next exposure. Whatever it is, you never finish one exposure without setting up the next one. Never. If you do, it's over. That's what used to happen to me at the beginning. I would have someone look at the opportunity. When they'd done that, I'd say, "So, what do you think?" They'd usually mumble something like, "I'll let you know," or "I'll get back to you," or "I need to think more about it," or something similar. And poof, they were gone. Then when I tried to call them back, I was just bothering them. The whole thing felt uncomfortable. Once I changed to never finishing one exposure before setting up the next one, everything changed for the better. I was being professional. I was in control. The prospect had more respect for me and for the opportunity. All of this happened from this one small change in mindset. Concept number 3. It takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures for the average person to join. When people don't understand that the only reason for an exposure is to set up the next exposure, they put too much pressure on their prospects and on themselves. In the some will, some won't, so what next MLM culture, people hammer on a person once, and if they don't join right away, they move on and never follow up. In many cases, they take it a step further by damaging the relationship with the prospects with their attitude. Professionals understand that it takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures for a prospect to become involved. Their goal is education and understanding. It's hard to educate someone in one exposure, so they take them from exposure to exposure to exposure, knowing it will eventually sink in. Through that process, they also build a stronger relationship with the prospect. They strengthen the friendship. That helps build trust, and people enjoy working with people they like. 4 to 6 exposures is an average, which means that for every person who joins on the first exposure, there's going to be a person who takes more than 10 exposures to join. You just never know. Some of the best people in network marketing were prospected for years before they finally made the decision to take part in the opportunity. Keep your urgency, but have patience. Concept number 4. Condense the exposures for better results. Posers prospect someone once and move on. Amateurs prospect someone through several exposures over time. Professionals condense those exposures into the shortest time possible. People are busy. They're constantly distracted by life. When you're approaching them to take a look at something new, it's important to keep their interest. The best way to do that is to stack the exposures as closely as possible. If you go slow, you might start by having them check out a video, then a few weeks later have them listen to a conference call, then a month later have them attend a webinar. Then after another month, invite them to a 3-way phone call with you and another distributor. This slow process is difficult because between each exposure, they tend to get distracted by life. It can almost be like starting over every time. On the other hand, if you have them check out a video, then join a conference call, then try the product, then get on a webinar, then participate in a 3-way call, then come to a live meeting, or whatever combination of exposures you use in your company, and do it all in 1 week, you give them the opportunity to really think about how this could change their lives. Questions and objections. At every step in the recruiting process, you'll come across questions and objections. This is natural. A lot of the time, your prospect will just be bringing them up to sound intelligent. They don't want to seem easy, so they throw out objections to feel better. How you respond is extremely important. If you act defensive, you'll plant a seed of doubt in their minds. If you act offensive, you'll chase them away. Remember, our goal is education and understanding. It's not to win an argument. Our job is to help blind people see. When someone brings up a negative question, or if they offer you an objection, all they're really doing is helping you to identify one of their blind spots. It's helpful to know what these are so you can assist your prospects in eliminating them. I'm going to give you some specific tactics to help overcome objections, but the thing I want you to remember and spend more time focusing on are concepts. Tactics come and go. Concepts are timeless. I found that objections fall into one of 2 categories. The first is the prospect's limiting belief in their abilities. They aren't sure they can be successful. The second is a limiting belief in network marketing. They aren't sure network marketing will help them achieve their goals in life. For both categories, one of the best concepts is empathy, how you relate to people. And the best way I know to relate to people is to let them know you're just like they are. You had the same doubts, the same questions, the same fears, and you overcame them. Believe it or not, your story and the stories of others will do more for you in overcoming objections than anything else. There's an old tactic called feel, felt, found. It works with the concept of empathy. When a prospect offers an objection, you respond with, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But here's what I found. You can use that quite literally and with great success. You can also modify it based upon your story and your prospect. When prospects have a limiting belief in their abilities, the common objections in this category are, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. It's not my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know anyone. Or I'm too old, too young, have no experience, etc. Some people teach fancy approaches where you make yourself seem smart and the prospect seems stupid. You don't have any money? Do you have a cable bill? Do you have a cell phone? Do you ever go out to dinner? You have lots of money. Come on, wake up. Or, you don't have the time? How long do you want to have that reality in your life? You have to change if you want your life to change. How does it feel when you hear that? How would it feel if someone were to say it to you? Pretty bad, right? A better approach is to relate to the person and tell your story. When a person tells me, I just don't have the money right now, I respond, I had the same exact challenge. I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, let alone start a new business. But when I thought about it, I realized if I didn't have enough money to pay my bills now, how was I going to change that in the future? I was tired of being behind. I was tired of scrambling. I wanted more out of life. So you know what I did? I found a way. And it was the best decision I ever made. Let me ask you something. If you really felt this was a chance for you to take control of your financial future, do you think you could find a way to make it happen? 9 times out of 10, they would agree they could find a way. Again, forget the exact words and focus on the concept. I told them I was the same as they were, with the same objection. I told them about my pain, and I told them I found a way to solve it. As a result, we bonded. We related to each other. We were in the same boat with the same hopes and dreams. And if I didn't have a personal story that would compare with theirs, I would tell another person's story. There are plenty of stories inside your company that could relate to virtually every situation. So when a prospect tells you their objection, you can say, I know what you mean. I have a friend who had that same exact problem, and let me tell you their story. Can you see how that approach would work with all the objections based on a person's limiting belief about themselves and their lives? The concept is simple, it's proven, and the results are amazing. When people have limiting beliefs about network marketing, this category includes, is this MLM? Is this one of those things? Is this a pyramid scheme? I'm not interested in MLM. I don't want to bother my friends. And how much are you making? Let's start with the one that strikes fear into the hearts of most people in our profession. Is this MLM? Or variations like, is this one of those things? Or is this a pyramid scheme? Or I'm not interested in MLM. Some people go a little crazy when they hear this question. They say, pyramid scheme, like every corporation in the world, like the government? You mean that? Instead of going crazy on your prospects, it's important to understand where this question comes from. My experience has shown me that they usually knew someone who joined with no success, or else they've done it themselves. Usually they just purchased a virtual lottery ticket like I described earlier and it didn't pay off. This scenario represents well over 90% of the people who will ask this kind of question. The rest of them have heard of opportunities like this and are rightfully skeptical of the promise of getting rich quick. If they ask this kind of question with any sort of emotion, I know they've been involved at some point. So I say, wait a minute. You have a story. What happened? Were you involved in network marketing at some point? Then just let them tell you their story. It opens them up. It lowers their defenses. And it allows you to ask some questions about their experience. Let me give you a typical example. I'm going through my invitation process when the prospect says, wait a minute, is this MLM? And they say it with emotion. I reply, oh, you have a story. Did you try it out at some point? What happened? They say, yeah, I joined a company a few years ago, bought some product, and lost my money. I reply, what do you think was the reason you didn't have success? They say, well, my friend talked me into it. I didn't have a lot of time, and I thought more people would join right away, but they didn't. I guess I just lost interest. I reply, do you think you really gave it a fair shot? They say, no, not really. I reply, do you think network marketing was the problem, or do you think maybe your timing wasn't right? They say it was probably the timing. Do you see the dynamic? I've had thousands of these conversations, and they're all slightly different. But if you ask some questions and are friendly through the process, you have a strong opportunity to help them get rid of their blind spot and take a look at what you have to offer. In addition, you can relate to them by saying you had the same objection initially and telling them how you overcame it. If someone uses the word pyramid with me, I always say, oh no, pyramid schemes are illegal. Again, I'm asking questions and waiting for answers. From those answers, I ask more questions, and through the process, I can achieve my goal of education and understanding. I don't want to bother my friends is slightly different. Again, I relate to them by telling my story or somebody else's story. And then I ask questions like, what makes you think you'd be bothering your friends? If you truly believed in the product, would you let your friends know about it? And if I could show you how we can share this product with others without it feeling or sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? The last in this category is, how much are you making? If you're making money already, this is a great question. If you're not, your answer depends on how long you've been involved. If you're brand new, you can tell them you're just getting started. If you've been around for a while and not making big money yet, you can tell them you're working part-time and are really excited about your future. You could also say that you're excited about your future with this company because you knew things weren't going to change if you didn't do something to change them. The other way to answer it is to tell your story and then tell stories of people you know who are making good money. You can even suggest setting up a phone conversation with those people so they can feel more comfortable about the opportunity. All of this takes practice, but if you get the concepts down, you'll find it becomes easy. And the other thing that should encourage you is you'll only have this handful of the same objections for the rest of your career. There's nothing new here. What I've listed in this section is about all there is. Remember, our goal is education and understanding. This is a part of the process that makes that goal a reality. Chapter 8, Skill number 5, helping your prospects become customers or distributors. This skill is a natural byproduct of following up professionally. If you walk through exposure after exposure, our goal of education and understanding will be accomplished. But that doesn't mean the prospect will come out and ask you for an order form or an application. It's your job to get them to a decision. The key to success in this area is a combination of having good posture and asking good questions. Good posture means the way you carry yourself. Your words and actions will help your prospect feel more confident about joining your opportunity, or they'll plant seeds of doubt. In my early years, my posture was terrible. I was trying to get people instead of pursuing the nobler goal of education and understanding. And the prospects could feel my intentions. I was very emotionally attached to the outcome. You could even say I was needy. Every time I got to this part of the process, I really, really wanted it. Again, the prospect could feel my emotional attachment, and that usually scared them away. Through lack of results and without even realizing it, I started to assume people were not going to be interested. And that assumption started to seep into everything, which led to the predictable result of the prospect not joining. Most of the time, I wasn't properly prepared. I didn't have applications, startup materials, or whatever else was necessary. Think about the subconscious impact this had on my prospects. It seemed just about everything I did projected a lack of belief and a lack of professionalism. Instead of asking questions and listening intently to the answers, I just talked and talked and talked. I was more focused on being interesting than being interested. Prospects don't like that. No one does. So again, I followed the pattern of modeling the professionals. I watched what the best closers did and began to copy them. I interviewed the top performers to figure out what they did differently, and slowly, I started to see the flaws in my own approach. First, I learned that professionals are emotionally detached from the outcome. In other words, their goal is education and understanding while helping a prospect make a decision that would positively impact their lives. They're the opposite of needy. They aren't trying to get anybody. They are honestly just trying to help. Second, they're very assumptive in their approach. They expect the person to join because their belief that the opportunity would benefit the prospect is so strong. They're rock solid. Many of them are sincerely shocked when a person decides not to get involved. Third, it was interesting to learn they promoted themselves as much as they promoted the product or the opportunity. What I mean by that is they helped the prospect make the decision by saying, "You get me." When they promoted themselves, it isn't like, "I'm going to do everything for you." It was more like, "We have a great product and a great opportunity, but I'm going to take this thing to the top and we can do it together. This gives people great comfort in knowing that they don't have to learn everything on their own. Fourth, they are always prepared. Always. They have everything they need to get a person started right on the spot. And fifth, they ask question after question after question and are great listeners. They act like a consultant helping a person with a problem. The best consultants in the world have to ask a bunch of questions before they can offer a solution. Network marketing professionals use questions as their most powerful tool. As you can imagine, it took me a while to figure all of this out, and that was just half the battle. It's one thing to have the information, and it's another thing to put it into action. I wasn't as talented as the pros, but I could model what they did, so I just started to act like they acted. I acted emotionally detached. I really wasn't at the beginning. I started to act very assumptive that people would join. I really wasn't at the beginning. I started to tell people, and you get me, even though I didn't think that was such a huge benefit at the beginning. I was always prepared. I started to ask lots of questions, focusing more on being interested than interesting. And as time went on, I acted less and less and believed more and more. The same can happen for you. Let's talk about questions. If you were a consultant and your job was to figure out if an opportunity was a good fit for your client, what would you do? You'd ask questions, right? In working to help a prospect make a positive decision about your opportunity, you're going to do the same thing. But instead of asking, what did you think, which leads nowhere, learn to ask questions that lead in a positive direction. Did it make sense to you? What did you like best about what you just saw? Pretty exciting, isn't it? Can you see how this could be an opportunity for you? Of these examples, the one I used most is, what did you like best? The answer to that question is almost always positive, and it gives you clues as to the area in which they're most interested. Then I like to say, let me ask you a question on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 meaning you have 0 interest and 10 being you're ready to get started right now. Where are you? They'll give you a number. And it's usually obvious from their number that they either need more information before they'll make a decision or they're leaning towards getting started now. If you feel they need more information, just guide them to the next exposure that will help them the most. But if you feel they're ready to get started, then ask a series of 4 questions. This 4-question close has produced strong and consistent results over the course of my career. If you learn it and use it, you'll be amazed at how many people you can help. Question number 1. Based upon what you've just seen, if you were to get started with this company on a part-time basis, approximately how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? Instead of asking this question, most distributors say things like, how'd you like to make $10,000 a month? Don't do that. Instead of prescribing what you think they want, just ask them what it would take to make it worth their time and wait for their answer. Question number 2. Approximately how many hours could you commit each week to develop that kind of income? Now they have to go inside their head and check their mental calendar to see how much time they would invest to get that kind of money. Question number 3. How many months would you work those kind of hours in order to develop that kind of income? This question makes them think about their level of commitment if they want the income from question number 1. Question number 4. If I could show you how to develop an income of, their answer to question number 1, per month, working, their answer to question number 2, hours a week over the course of, their answer to question number 3, months, would you be ready to get started? Most of the time, you'll get a positive answer to this question. And when people say, sure, show me how, you can pull out your compensation plan and sketch out a reasonable game plan to achieve their goals. There are rare occasions when people will give you unrealistic numbers. They might say they want $10,000 a month working 2 hours a week for 1 month. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. If you face that situation, you act as a consultant and say, I'm sorry, but your expectations are way too high. You can get to $10,000 a month, but it'll take more hours and more months than you're willing to commit. If you're willing to change those expectations, we can talk. If you don't get a positive answer to the 4 questions, that's okay. That means the prospect will need to have more exposures before they're ready. Schedule the next one and repeat this process when you're done. This skill will take practice, but it's a skill that will serve you for the rest of your career. If you're tired of having too many people thinking about it and not enough taking action, this will help. Chapter 9. Skill number 6, helping your new distributor get started right. In network marketing, people invest enormous effort, time, and money into getting people signed up, and then squander that investment by leaving their new distributors to figure everything out for themselves. Professionals don't do that. They set proper expectations, they help get some quick results, and then continue to guide the new distributor through the many phases of our profession. I was lucky enough to have an early mentor, Michael Nelson, who is very skilled at guiding new distributors. Michael wasn't in my upline, but he was clearly the leader in my city. In addition, he had a lot of experience in our profession. So I listened to what he said, I watched what he did, and I asked him tons of questions. Back in those days, he had a small office close to my home, and I was always hanging around trying to learn something. Michael was a very successful recruiter. He was always bringing on new people. And for the most part, Michael's people did well in the business. That wasn't happening for me. The few people I recruited did nothing. As I watched Michael, I noticed that every time he signed up a new distributor, he scheduled what he called a game plan interview. I decided to model what he did. So the next time he met with a new distributor, I sat behind them close enough to take notes on their conversation. I did this several times and was surprised to learn he went through the same exact interview every time. I thought if I could learn that interview process, then I'd have a chance at his results. Game plan interview, part 1. He validated their decision to become a distributor. He said things like, "Congratulations on making the decision. I'm proud of you for taking charge of your life. From now on, things are going to be different for you and your family." It always took less than 5 minutes, but by the end of their discussion, any doubt they may have had about becoming a distributor was gone. They felt great. Game plan interview, part 2. He set their expectations. He knew most people came into our business with unrealistic expectations, so he always said the same 3 things. If you succeed in this business, it's going to be you who creates that success, not me. And if you fail in this business, it's going to be you who creates that failure, not me. You're going to be the difference between success and failure. I'm here to guide you every step of the way, but I can't do it for you. I'm here to work with you, but not for you. Wow, this was a radical concept and so different from the conversations I had when I got a person started. I said things like, "I get paid from what you produce, so essentially I work for you." Well, what kind of expectation do you think that set in the new distributor's mind? I'd also say, "We are going to build a business together," when that wasn't really true. They needed to build a business. I could be a resource, but I couldn't do it for them. The next thing he said was, "My job is to help you become independent from me as quickly as possible. Do you agree that that's a good goal?" Again, this was radical, but it made sense. Up to that point, I had a group that was extremely dependent on me. They only did something when I pushed. But Michael had a group that produced on their own without his constant help. He had duplication and freedom. I didn't. This set the relationship up, so Michael would be the teacher for his group and not the slave. He could show them the skills, and then they could independently build from that point forward. The third thing he said was, "There will certainly be ups and downs as you build your business. There'll be good times and bad times. I'll know when you're in one of the bad times, when you aren't calling me, you aren't showing up for meetings, you aren't on the calls, if I start hearing excuses, that sort of thing. When that happens with you, and it happens with everyone, how do you want me to handle that? Do you want me to leave you alone? Or do you want me to be persistent and remind you why you made this decision in the first place?" This was brilliant, because it's true that everyone will have times of self-doubt. He let them know it was natural, and at the same time, set up the relationship so he was in a position to turn them around when it happened. What Michael accomplished with these 3 concepts was so different from promising the world like I was doing, that it was night and day. With my approach, the distributor would sit back and wait for me to perform. And if I was ever too busy or couldn't help for some reason, I became the easy excuse for why things weren't working out. With Michael's approach, his people became independent quickly. He would coach them from time to time, but he wouldn't allow his group to use him as an excuse for their lack of results. While my distributors struggled, his flourished. Game plan interview, part 3. Michael went through a getting started checklist to help the new person have the best chance for success. The exact plan would be different for every company, but the concept was to do everything possible to get quick results. Here are some examples of what you could include in your getting started checklist. 1. Make sure your new distributor is set up with appropriate products. Just about every company has products that can be personally used by the distributor. So make sure your new person is doing that. Depending on your company, this may include a monthly commitment. It's very important that people develop an emotional attachment to the products, and that can only happen if they are using them and enjoying the benefits. In addition, many companies have products that can be sampled or used in demonstrations. In that case, new distributors should have an appropriate supply so they're properly prepared. 2. Make sure your new distributor is set up with appropriate tools. We've talked about the importance of third-party tools in building a large and successful network marketing business. Your new distributor needs to be prepared to help their prospects with the tools that will professionally take them through the exposure process. 3. Make sure your new distributor gets connected. Show them how to find things on the company website, where the upcoming events are being held, when the leadership calls or webinars are being conducted, etc. Remember, our goal is to help them become independent as quickly as possible. This is an important step in making that goal a reality. 4. Make sure your new distributor has a basic understanding of the compensation plan. They don't need to know it in detail at the beginning, but they should at least understand the key points and what will happen financially as they move through the first few levels. 5. Make sure your new distributor has a fundamental understanding of how to properly invite their prospects to understand more about what they have to offer. You can save them from running out there and talking their heads off with little or no results by giving them a brief overview of how and why a professional invitation process works. Game Plan Interview, Part 4. Michael helped the new distributor create a game plan to get through the first few ranks and challenged them to do it quickly. He understood and helped me to understand that it was a race to help a person get results quickly. If they received early positive reinforcement, they'd continue, and if they didn't, they had a tendency to fade away. Every company is different, so this game plan will also be different, but think about the simple actions you can encourage people to take during the first week to get the best possible results. How can they get their first customer? How can they get their first distributor? Can you encourage them to attend their first company event? What steps can you take to help them earn their first commission check? Success in network marketing wasn't real for me until I earned that first check. When it arrived, everything changed for me. I started to really dream about creating a better life for myself and my family. Helping your new person get off to a quick start is vital. Game Plan Interview, Part 5. Michael always ended by giving some specific assignments. One thing I've learned is new distributors crave direction, and they respond incredibly well to simple assignments. Michael always ended by giving those assignments along with a deadline for them to be completed. He told his new distributor to get back to him by a specific date. It's just like the exposure prospecting process. You go from exposure to exposure, but it doesn't end until they become distributors. The professionals continue to go from exposure to exposure, assignment to assignment. The purpose of all this is to help the new distributor get over the line. When someone gets started, there's always a line between success and failure. On one side of the line, it's easier to quit than continue. On the other side of the line, it's easier to continue than to quit. What can help a person get over the line? Signing up their first customer, signing up their first distributor, getting their first commission check, attending a big company event, making friends inside the organization, proclaiming their intentions to the world, getting promoted to a new level, being recognized for some sort of achievement. There are hundreds of other things that can contribute to a person getting over the line. As a sponsor, your job is to help them get over the line and stay over the line. And the line never really goes away. It's always there. And you as a leader need to be constantly aware of where your people are emotionally. This way you can continue to encourage them to never let go of their dreams. Chapter 10, Skill 7, Promoting Events. In network marketing, meetings make money. It's just that simple. Yes, technology can help us connect with people in ways that are becoming more and more efficient, but nothing replaces face-to-face interaction. Meeting people one-on-one, in small groups, or at local or bigger events will have a huge impact on the long-term success of any network marketing organization. But one particular type of event is the most powerful, and that is the destination event. It might be a company-sponsored event or one put on by your upline leadership, but a destination event is one where most of the attendees travel to a different city, stay at a hotel, and participate in a conference or convention. Some try to argue that the destination event is dead in the new technology world and people won't travel for these things anymore. All I can tell you is those people aren't top earners in our profession. If you study what the successful people do to build their network marketing organizations, you'll find that virtually every one of them uses destination events as a cornerstone for building their business. There's something magical about getting away from your day-to-day grind and focusing completely on your dreams. Total immersion, even if it's only for a weekend, is good. You can use it to refocus and recommit to your future and gather the strength necessary to go back home and do what's necessary to move your business forward. You gain strength from the presentations you hear during the event. Sometimes a person says something at just the right time in your life and it changes you forever. Over 20 years ago, I was at a convention when a guy by the name of Johnny Daniel said, "You can tell the size of the man by the size of the problem that gets him down." That statement went right into my heart and has helped me ever since. If I ever get sad or depressed, something inside me says, "Is this the size of Eric?" I answer no, pick myself up, and get moving again. I've had hundreds of those moments over the years at destination events. I gave up blaming at an event. I decided to become a professional at an event. I realized no one could stop me at an event. I decided to go to the top at an event. In fact, as I think back, I can't think of a single significant moment in my network marketing career that didn't happen at an event. They're that powerful. In addition to gaining strength from the presenters, you'll also receive incredible validation of your decision to be involved. It's a concept called social proof, and it's very important. As human beings, we're wired to seek proof from sources outside of our own thoughts and experiences. At a destination event, you'll see lots of other people who've made the same decision you have, and that feels good. Also, you'll see how some of them have overcome their fears and gone to the highest levels in your company. You start to think, if they can do it, maybe I can do it too. There's also some positive peer pressure involved. Most destination events include recognition programs. Who won the contest, moved to the next rank, earned the top income, or spoke from the stage. When I went to my first event and I saw all the people walking across that stage, I had one thought: the next time, I'll be walking across that stage. It was inspiring that so many people had accomplished what I hadn't done yet. It made me think I could do it, and it made me work on a plan to make it happen. In addition to being inspired, I also didn't want to show up at the next event without some improvement in my business. That positive peer pressure helped me face my fears and make it happen. Overall, the sense of community at a destination event is comforting. We all live in a world filled with ignorant people when it comes to network marketing. That can be discouraging at times. But when we go to a big event, suddenly we're surrounded by people who think like we think. They have similar beliefs, hopes, dreams, aspirations, and positive attitudes. Spending time with this amazing group of people can literally fill us back up again, so we have strength for the next push. Once you understand how important destination events are to the success of your business, you need to learn how to effectively promote them to your organization. It's really simple. The more people from your group attend events, the more money you're going to make in our profession. Top leaders know exactly how many people are attending, and they make sure to grow that number at every new event. Think about it. Take two distributors, who each have a group of 100 people. Distributor A makes it a priority and gets everyone to attend every major destination event. Distributor B doesn't make it a priority, so only a handful attend. Which group is going to be more successful? It's not even a contest. The first step in developing a culture that promotes attendance at destination events is to personally be more committed than anyone else to attending and helping others make the same decision. That means you need to lead by example and never miss a destination event. When I first started in this profession, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't have the money, and I couldn't afford the time. I had the same obstacles as everyone else. But something happened to me at my first event that changed everything. I scraped up enough money to get there, and it was a mind-blowing experience. The stage, the lights, the people, the stories, it was awesome. During one of the sessions, I stepped out to go to the bathroom, and when I came back to the entrance to the big convention hall, I found myself standing next to one of the top income earners in the whole company. It was like standing next to a celebrity. He had achieved what I wanted to achieve, and more. I stood there trying to think of something smart to say, and finally, I simply introduced myself and asked, "What's the secret?" Now, today I know there isn't a secret, and he could have said the same thing to me, but instead, he had a little compassion and gave me an important lesson that serves me to this day. He said, "Eric, do you see this room? It holds about 2,000 people. We have these events about 3 times a year. Here's the secret. At the next event, half of these people won't come back. But the other half that does will be making about twice the average of everyone else in the room. Your job is to be in the 1,000 people who come back. And it doesn't stop there. At the next event, half of those 1,000 won't come back. But the 500 who do will be making 4 times the amount of the average in the room. This continues from event to event. If you continue to come back, you'll end up being among the highest paid people in the room, and eventually, you'll even find yourself presenting on stage. I said, "That's it?" And he replied, "Eric, obviously you're going to have to continue to work on your skills in between events, but my experience has shown me that if you outlast people at our big events, you'll make it to the top." This was pretty simple for me to understand. I thanked him and made a resolution on the spot to never miss a big company event. It wasn't easy. Sometimes the event tickets alone were a problem. I made it a priority and found a way to buy them. Sometimes childcare was an issue. I relentlessly searched for babysitters until we found someone we could trust. Sometimes I struggled with how to get to the event. Instead of taking a nice, comfortable direct flight, sometimes I had to book one with 2 or 3 connections. Instead of flying, sometimes I had to drive, even piling into one vehicle with a group of people to get there. There were even times when I reserved a bus and recruited people in my area to share the ride. The point is, I made it a priority and I made it to the event, no matter what. As for accommodations, today I stay in a suite, but it wasn't always that way. At the beginning, I often shared a room with as many people as possible. Instead of room service, we'd go to the local grocery store and get food for inexpensive meals. And the minibar was strictly off limits. Bottom line, the advice I received all those years ago worked. Because I was ambitious and hungry, I figured out a way to outlast the people who were less committed. And just like that top income earner had told me, my income continued to grow with each event. On top of that, another strange thing happened. I started to feel different than everyone else. I started to feel like an Iron Man. I started to be proud of the fact that I was still standing when other people lost faith. So if you're more committed than anyone else to attending the destination events, that all-important commitment will serve you very well. Once you're fully committed, the next step is to grow the number of people on your team that attend with you. Most people announce the next big event to their group, sit back, and hope people register. Professionals understand there's a big difference between an announcer and being a promoter. Promoters make the event a priority in their group. They are relentless with their message. They tell stories that inspire people to action. They take nothing for granted and don't rest until people have registered. They paint a picture in people's minds about how great the event will be and the benefits of attending. One thing I learned long ago was to never buy someone's excuse, at least at the beginning. I can't tell you how many people started off by telling me the reasons they couldn't attend the next destination event, only to find out that their reason was just an excuse and wasn't really true. The problem with amateurs is they buy that first story, and that's the end of it. Person says, "I can't get off work," or "I can't afford it," or "I can't arrange childcare," or "Who's going to watch my dog?" or "There's a birthday party that weekend." And the amateur says, "Oh well, it is what it is. I hope you can make it to the next one." The professional has a completely different mindset. When they hear an objection, they don't buy that story because they know it's probably not real, or at least not real enough. Instead, they work with that person to help them understand the meaning and importance of attending the event. Then they brainstorm with them to figure out a way to overcome their initial problem. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who had already decided they were not going to attend the next event, and within 5 minutes, they changed their mind and registered. The lesson here is to tell your story, don't buy theirs. Think of this skill as if you're a publicly traded company and your stock value is tied directly to how many people you have at each destination event. If that were the case, you'd make it a priority to always have a bigger number at the next event, wouldn't you? You might start with just you at the first event, but then the goal needs to be to bring someone with you to the next one and to grow that number at the next and the next and the next. There's no such thing as a silver bullet in network marketing, but this skill is as close as it gets. Chapter 11. Anything worthwhile takes time. If a person starts a traditional business, they expect to break even in their first year and possibly pay back their initial investment in the first 5 years. But when a person starts a network marketing business, they expect to get their money back in the first month, make a profit in their second month, and get rich by the third month. And when that doesn't happen, they blame network marketing. It's like people don't want the laws of the business world to apply to network marketing. We do have a better way, but we're not selling magic beans here. Anything of value takes time to develop. I learned a great lesson early in my network marketing career. From time to time in your life, your income might take a lucky jump. You might be in the right place at the right time. But if you don't quickly grow as a person to that new higher level, your income is going to come back down to the level of who you really are. In the end, you only get to make what you are. How many people do you know that hit it big and lost it all? I learned this lesson the hard way in my first few months in MLM. Back in 1988, I joined a company that had a $5,000 upfront package, which paid the sponsor between $1,200 and $2,400 depending on their level. Although I'm glad most of those big money packages have left our profession, back then a person could make some pretty big money fast. In my first month with that company, I earned approximately $7,400. If you remember, my strategy was to quickly call my dad's friends before he could get to them. I was ecstatic. In my second month, I earned about $12,200. Unbelievable. But then reality kicked in. I wasn't a $12,000 a month person. I hadn't worked on my skills. I wasn't developing myself. I was just riding the wave. My third month's check was $1,098.60. Looking at that check was like looking at myself in the mirror. It showed me who I was. It was an ugly feeling. My first reaction was to quit and blame everyone and everything for my bad check. But eventually I realized that to earn more, I needed to become more. I needed to work on my skills, so I didn't have to rely on luck or timing or positioning. You might have heard, you can get rich quick, or there's no work involved, or the product sells itself, or any number of trumped-up statements. But you must learn to give up those false and unrealistic expectations and go to work on you. The 1-3-5-7 formula. There's a formula I've seen work in our profession. I call it the 1-3-5-7 formula. As a general rule, it will take you about 1 year to become competent and profitable in network marketing. You'll know the basics, you'll cover expenses, and you'll be learning. It'll take about 3 years of consistent part-time effort in order to go full-time. It'll take about 5 years of consistent effort to become a six-figure earner or above. And it will take about 7 years of consistent effort to become an expert. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make more than that in the short term. Many people do. It just means if you want to keep making that kind of money, you need to eventually become an expert. When you think about it, 7 years isn't so bad, especially when a good portion of it is part-time. You're going to be 7 years older anyway. You might as well become an expert over that period of time instead of just going through the motions. How to learn. Once you make the commitment to focus on your skills, the next thing you need to do is figure out the best way to learn. One of the best things that ever happened to me was realizing there are no bad experiences and no good experiences, only learning experiences. This was a major breakthrough. In other words, let go of the outcome and focus on what you can learn from every experience. This took so much pressure off me. Instead of always looking for great experiences, I started focusing on how many experiences I could have, because the more I had, the more I could learn. Another attribute of a top earner in MLM is they are what I like to call an active student. As a professional, they're always learning, always growing, always trying to get better. Lou Holtz said it best. In this world, you're either growing or you're dying, so get in motion and grow. I think that's true. Never stop learning. Model successful behavior. Try to avoid reinventing the wheel when you get involved in this profession. The hard work has already been done. No matter what company you're in, it's easy to find someone who's very successful. Doesn't matter if it's getting customers, finding prospects, inviting, presenting, following up, closing, getting people started, building for events, or any other skill. There are people in your company right now who have them mastered. And unlike other professions, the successful people in your company are eager to share their secrets. All you need to do is model their behavior, and you can begin to enjoy their results. Study. Audio programs got me started. Back in 1988, someone gave me a bootleg copy of a talk Jim Rohn gave to the Shackley Company. It was called The Seed and the Sower, and it rocked my world. I bet I listened to that audio cassette in my car 500 times. From there, I did some homework on Jim Rohn and purchased his Challenge to Succeed audio program. Jim Rohn gave me hope, but more than that, he gave me direction in my continual personal development. That audio program launched my personal development journey. Through the years, I continued with dozens of different audio programs, all incredibly helpful in keeping my mind right. There's something magical about audio. It whispers in your ear, reminding you of your dreams, of your potential, and how to get there. In addition, it's repetitive. You probably won't read a book over and over, but you'll listen to an audio program over and over, especially if it's entertaining. And it seems like each time it's different, and it is because you're different. Jim Rohn also taught me to be a reader. No matter what you're trying to learn, there's someone who's devoted their entire life to the subject and is offering it to you for pennies. Take them up on that offer. In our electronics-focused, attention-deficit society, fewer people seem to read books. That's not true for leaders. Ask the top-earning distributors if they're readers. More importantly, ask them what they're reading. I wasn't much of a reader before I became a network marketing professional, but since 1988, I've read an average of about 4 books a month. Those books have shaped my life and my career for the better. Commit to just 10 pages a day, and you can read a 300-page book in a month. That's a great start. Video. Video is another source of great learning. Sometimes I like to watch training programs instead of just listening. It's part of the reason I decided to use video as my main focus at networkmarketingpro.com. I found if I created a short video with interesting information every day, people received tremendous value. If you'd like to check out hundreds of free videos, you can go to networkmarketingpro.com. It's free. Online. The internet has changed the way we learn and gather information. You could take advantage of online tutorials, watch online videos, attend online webinars, or even watch events live with streaming technology. Events. The best way I know to really internalize life-changing information is to attend live events. As I've already told you, most of my defining moments have come from events. On one side, there's always good information for a person who's listening. On the other side, when you eliminate all of the other distractions in life and just focus, like you do at an event, you have a chance to really hear. Both sides are good. Be careful of distractions. With all of the choices available to you in terms of studying your craft, now more than ever, you must be careful about what you allow into your mind. People everywhere will try to distract you with their latest and greatest breakthrough, and it can be very tempting to jump at all those opportunities. You should be focused on a very narrow range of skills: finding prospects, inviting, presenting, following up, closing, getting people started right, and promoting events. Make sure you master those skills before adding anything else to your to-do list. Take action. Almost all of the learning in MLM is in the doing. If you want to learn how to talk to people on the phone, then talk to more people on the phone. If you want to learn how to do a home presentation, then do more home presentations. You'll certainly figure it out. That doesn't mean you shouldn't continue to seek knowledge on the skill sets for success in MLM, but it does mean you shouldn't wait for complete knowledge before taking action. Part of the reason people avoid taking action is they're afraid they'll be embarrassed. If you want to be successful in network marketing, you must learn to set that fear aside. Here's why. It's very difficult to look good and get better at the same time. Instead of being afraid of how you look as you're learning and growing, be afraid of not taking action and living a life at a fraction of your potential. Let me give you a concept that has served me for over 20 years in the area of developing my skills. Back in the early 1990s, a friend and I were searching for a great network marketing product. We traveled the country and met with many interesting people. Our journey led us to an organization in Michigan called the High Scope Educational Research Foundation. They had a progressive and proven way to teach children how to learn more effectively. High Scope has many components, but the one that struck me then is the one I've used to this day, called Plan, Do, Review. Here's how the company explains the process. In the Plan, Do, Review process, children make plans, carry them out, and reflect on what they have done. In doing so, children learn to take initiative, solve problems, work with others, and accomplish their goals. Their play becomes more purposeful and focused. By making Plan, Do, Review a successful and integral part of your classroom's daily routine, you'll learn how you can promote learning and build on children's interests and intrinsic motivation. When I heard what they were saying on how to use it as a teaching tool for children, the only thing that was rolling around in my mind was how I could use it for myself and the people in my organization. While things didn't work out for turning the High Scope product into a network marketing product, I'll be forever grateful to their organization for helping me and hundreds of thousands of people all over the world to use this concept to build a better business. Here's how I've used and taught the concept for over 20 years now. Choose a skill you want to develop. 1. Make a plan. 2. Do your plan. 3. Review your results to see how you could do better next time. Most people don't make a plan. They just charge out there and do. Even more people never review their results to see how they could improve. Do you see how this connects with no good experiences and no bad experiences, only learning experiences? 1. Make a plan. 2. Do your plan. 3. Review your results, good or bad, to see how you could do better next time. 4. Make a better plan. 5. Do that better plan. 6. Review those results, good or bad, to see how you could do better next time. 7. Never stop applying plan, do, review, and you'll eventually become an expert through trial and error. This little secret to learning in MLM is one of the most powerful I've shared. It's become part of my DNA. I hope the same happens for you. Teaching. Would it surprise you to know that teaching is one of the best ways to learn? It's true. If you want to really master something, teach it to others. Teaching burns a groove in your brain like nothing else can. Who do you think gets the most benefit from the daily video shows at networkmarketingpro.com? I do. I have to think about it, prepare, and present the message every day, so it helps keep me sharp and on top of my game. The lesson for each of you should be to find someone to teach. Even if you just have one person in your group, start there. And as your group grows, look for more and more opportunities to teach. You'll get the most benefit. Your associations. This is another important lesson from Jim Rohn. He taught me the law of association that says you'll become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You'll think how they think, act how they act, talk how they talk, and earn how they earn. Let me tell you something. This law is real. You can't fight it. I've done 3 things over the course of my career when it comes to my associations. First, I've disassociated with the people who are toxic to my life. This isn't an easy decision, but it's an important one. Some people will keep you down permanently. Second, I've limited my associations with negative people or people who weren't helping me grow in the direction of my dreams. I just learned to spend less time with those people and more time on positive influences. And third, I've worked to expand my associations with people who can help me become a better person and a better professional. If you're trying to learn to become an expert in the network marketing profession, doesn't it make sense to find a way to spend more time with the people who have the skills you're looking for? If this is a little too stressful to think about when you're looking at the 5 people you're spending time with right now, here's a little tip. About every 6 months, one of the people in your 5 will change. They'll move, get a new job, start a relationship, end a relationship. Something will happen. The secret is, when that happens, choose very wisely when you're thinking about who's going to take their place. Most people don't think about this at all. They just let the next person fall into that place. That's a big mistake. Find someone who will push you. Find someone who will inspire you. I hope these suggestions on the learning process of becoming a professional have been helpful to you. It's okay to dream big, but you also have to be patient. Anything of value takes time. Continue to develop your skills. Become a permanent student. Those skills will make a place for you for the rest of your life. There's one more concept you need to understand. I've analyzed the top earners in network marketing. I've interviewed them, and we've become friends. Do you know what they all have in common? They work hard. Don't get me wrong, they have a great lifestyle, and they love what they do, but they work their butts off. If you want big success in MLM, you're going to have to do the same. Network marketing isn't about luck, timing, positioning, or signing that magic person who will make you rich. Freedom is possible, but it isn't free. It will take hard work to stay consistent when the world tries to distract you. It'll take hard work to learn the skills required for long-term success. It'll take hard work to become the leader you're meant to be. Some people in network marketing become unhappy when they realize work is involved. Most of them join for some sort of free ride. When they experience growing pains, they run for the hills. Be different. It might take hard work, but it's good work. And it's the best way I know for the average person to enjoy true freedom. Chapter 12. It's all worth it. Network marketing can be challenging. It's an emotional experience. The ups and downs can be dramatic. But in the end, for so many reasons, it's all worth it. The career you'll create. If you decide to become a network marketing professional, you'll not only create an income for yourself, but you'll create a career. I think about this a lot. Consider the skills required to be a doctor, a lawyer, a big company CEO, or even a world-class musician. You're talking about a high level of skill and a fairly high level of income. Now consider the skills necessary to become a network marketing professional. They're tiny in comparison, and yet many network marketing professionals enjoy a higher level of income and most certainly a higher degree of freedom. If you look at any career, there's a barrier of entry, how hard it is to get in, and a long-term benefit, what you get if you do get in. For example, a doctor might have 12 years of school plus an internship. That takes intelligence some of us don't have, money some of us don't have, or even possibly contacts some of us don't have. At the end, they get to enjoy a long-term benefit, although many of them would say the benefit wasn't worth the investment. There's always a ratio between the barrier of entry and the long-term benefit. There's no question in my mind that of all the professions in the world, the profession of network marketing has the best ratio when you compare the low barrier of entry with the high long-term return. One of the best decisions in my life was making a career out of network marketing instead of just messing around. Becoming a professional made all the difference, and now it's great fun to spend a good portion of my time helping other people do the same thing. The freedom you'll enjoy. Freedom is an interesting word. When it comes to work, I think we understand the concept, but not the entire meaning. For me, freedom means having choices. It means living the life I want to live instead of the life other people want me to live. Do you remember the imagination you had as a child? Imagine your life without limits. You wake up when you're done sleeping. You're doing work that is fulfilling and makes you happy. You get to work with people you enjoy. You don't have to compromise all the time. You work when you feel like working, but you also play when you feel like playing. You get to spend tons of time with the people who are important to you. You're living a big life and not wasting away in a box. When you get a clear picture of what freedom is about, you'll find the price you need to pay to achieve it in network marketing is very low. Facing your fears and living a life that's free is easy. Spending the rest of your days living half a life is hard. The lives you'll touch. It's one thing to create freedom for yourself and your family. It's another thing altogether to help someone else do the same. There are so many people struggling in this world. You have the ability to help people see a bigger picture for themselves. You can give hope to the hopeless. You can encourage their dreams. You can provide them with the inspiration necessary to face and overcome their fears. One of my greatest joys is to appear in someone else's testimonial. It's great to hear that someone was lost, and in some small way, I was able to help them find their way. Network marketing allows you to do this on a big scale. Not only can you help one person, but you can help hundreds or even thousands to live a better life. And the exciting thing is, that's just the beginning. It's just like throwing a rock into a pond. When it hits the water, you see the ripples growing larger and larger until they hit every edge of the pond. In network marketing, sometimes you don't see all the ripples. You might be aware of the impact you had on one person's life, and maybe one or two more ripples, but they keep growing whether you see them or not. That's why I do what I do. It's why I wrote this book. I know people will be positively impacted, and that's a stone thrown in the water. But then they'll make a positive impact on others, and the ripples begin. And those people will do the same and over and over and over again. With network marketing, you really can make a difference. The people you'll meet. Network marketing has introduced me to the most amazing people. This profession gives you the chance to not only expand your group of friends, but also to be able to spend more time with them. You'll never find a more passionate group of entrepreneurs in any other profession. These people love life and spend their time lifting each other up. Here's an example of what that means to me and what it can mean for you. You can name virtually any state in the United States or any other country in the world, and a friend instantly pops into my mind. Network marketing has also introduced me to many of my heroes. I've been lucky enough to share the stage and become friends with great people, including Anthony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, the late Stephen Covey, Tom Peters, Les Brown, the late Og Mandino, David Bach, Robert Kiyosaki, Harvey Mackay, Art Williams, Ken Blanchard, Tom Rath, Daniel Pink, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, Jeffrey Gitomer, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tom Hopkins, and many, many others. On top of all that, I've been able to learn from more million-dollar MLM learners than I could count. All of them have had a positive impact on my life and my career. This profession also helped introduce me to my amazing wife, Marina. I was in Moscow for a big MLM training event, and she was attending that event with her family. Because she could speak multiple languages, she was helping to translate backstage. I was smitten. Our first date was in Red Square at midnight after the event. With the snow softly falling around us, I'll never forget it. We've been together ever since. I'm not saying you'll find the love of your life in MLM, but I am saying you'll find friendships that will last a lifetime. The places you'll see. If you build a large and successful network marketing business, a few things will happen. First, you'll win some trips that will be trips of a lifetime. Second, you're going to need to support your organization as they expand into every territory or country where your company does business. And third, you're going to have enough money and time to go wherever you'd like. It's been said that your life can be measured by the number and intensity of your experiences. If that's true, I've already lived a very long life. I've been to every state in the United States with the exception of Alaska, and I'll remedy that soon. I've also been to about 40 countries around the world. I've gone diving at the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, toured the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, visited the Twin Towers in Malaysia, boated around James Bond Island off the coast of Thailand, visited the tent cities in Nigeria, ridden the huge Ferris wheel in the port of Singapore, had a private tour of the White House, watched the sunrise on New Year's Day at the Grand Canyon, enjoyed a 30-course meal at the world-famous El Bulli in Spain, cruised through the canals of Amsterdam, ridden a hot air balloon over the Rocky Mountains, rented an entire cruise ship for 2,000 of my friends to sail to the Bahamas, had dinner under the stars at the top of the Hotel de Paris in Monaco, visited my heritage in Norway, sailed the Black Sea off the coast of the Ukraine, witnessed the amazing Sistine Chapel in Rome, golfed at St. Andrews in Scotland, watched a World Cup match in Ireland, and prayed at the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. All of this and so much more was made possible because I embraced the great profession of network marketing. The same can happen for you. The causes you can contribute to. There are lots of worthy causes. You might want to give to your parents or someone else in your family, or to an organization that means something to you. In 2011, I asked Harvey Mackay, best-selling author, as well as a wildly successful businessman and community activist, for his secret to success. He told me his story. Eric, my father sat me down after I graduated from the University of Minnesota at age 21. I was a little bit cocky, going to take on the world, going to start at the top and work my way up. And he said, Harvey, 25%, 1/4 of your life, starting now, is going to be devoted to volunteerism. Now, I didn't know what that meant, other than I started volunteering for everything. Heart, Cancer, United Way, Boy Scouts, March of Dimes, Salvation Army, everything. Let me tell you what that experience has done for me my entire life. Being on all those boards and being involved in all those charities, I became a better communicator. I became a better leader. I became a better salesperson. Because all I was doing was raising money for the more than 20 boards that I've been on. I became a better sales manager. And can you imagine how many new people I met by just being a volunteer? My network grew tremendously. But the biggest thing that happened was my sense of being a citizen of the world. To know that you've helped another human being and to be able to see the results, it's an unbelievable feeling. I'm so thankful to my father because his advice changed my life. This interview changed my life because it impacted my thinking on contribution. I'd always thought that there was really only one way to help a worthy cause, and that was with your money. But after my conversation with Harvey, I realized that there was 3 ways to help. The first is with your money. Of course, you can write a check, and that's wonderful. Network marketing can allow you to write bigger checks than you could ever imagine before. The second is with your time. Like Harvey said, you can dedicate a portion of your life to causes that are important to you. He chose 25%. You could choose whatever you'd like, but I'd encourage you to choose. And by time, I don't mean just volunteering a few hours here and there at the shelter or something. I mean, give your time to creative thinking, raising awareness, and raising money. And the third is probably most important, and that is with your influence. Take the time you're going to spend on your cause and put all of your influence behind it. Inspire your organization to do something great with you. Encourage your company to get involved. Leverage your network to do great things. You are powerful, and more so because of your involvement in network marketing. Use that influence for good. It'll change your life for the better. The person you'll become in the process. Network marketing changed my life for the better because it forced me to become a better person. As a profession, we move products and services to the customers who want them, but our real purpose is much deeper. At its core, this profession is an incubator for personal growth. You'll learn how to face your fears. You'll learn how to solve problems. You'll learn how to feed your mind with positives and protect your mind from negatives. You'll learn how to grow stronger. You'll learn how to lead. When I first started out in this profession, I did almost everything out of fear. I was afraid I wouldn't succeed. I was afraid I was going to run out of prospects. I was afraid I was going to miss out on the opportunity. But over time, that fear went away. I decided to focus on myself and my skills instead of all the things I couldn't control, and then everything became clear. I learned the true secret of network marketing. The greatest benefit isn't getting what you want. The greatest benefit is what you'll need to become in order to get what you want. I learned what was always there and what has been passed down for ages. The journey is everything. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Let me conclude by sharing what I say at the end of every Network Marketing Pro video. Ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone-cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world.
This has been Go Pro, 7 Steps to Become a Network Marketing Professional. Written and narrated by Eric Worre. Copyright 2013 Network Marketing Pro. Production copyright 2013 by Network Marketing Pro.
Audible hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Your first year in network marketing. Overcome your fears, experience success, and achieve your dreams. By Mark Yarnell and Renee Reed Yarnell. Narrated by Kevin Foley. Copyright 1998 by Mark Yarnell and Renee Reed Yarnell. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Three Rivers Press, an imprint of the Crown Publishing Group, a division of Random House Incorporated, and was produced in the year 2011 by Tantor Media Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. We are at that very point in time when a 400-year-old age is dying, and another is struggling to be born. A shifting of culture, science, society, and institutions enormously greater than the world has ever experienced. Ahead is the possibility of the regeneration of individuality, liberty, community, and ethics such as the world has never known, and a harmony with nature, with one another, and with the divine intelligence such as the world has never dreamed. D. Hawk, founder of Visa. Forward. As a business reporter and self-help writer, I have been researching and writing about the network marketing industry for 8 years. During this time, I've had the privilege of interviewing some of the top leaders in the industry and listening as they reveal their hardest-won and most closely held success secrets. Yet I've never found a richer load of hard-edged, practical information on network marketing than I did between the pages of Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark and Renee Yarnell. I learned more from reading this book than I have during all the years that I've spent exhaustively researching the MLM industry. Of course, I am hardly surprised by the book's high quality. From the first time I ever spoke with Mark Yarnell, I knew that he was a master communicator. Many of the heaviest hitters in network marketing become surprisingly inarticulate when you try to get them to explain the nuts and bolts behind their success. But Mark has always possessed the unique ability to summarize and encapsulate his business wisdom in easy-to-swallow nuggets, delivered with humor and drama, and honed with a keen and subtle intelligence. The stories and insights that Mark imparted to me, through many fascinating interviews, played a big part in making my book, Wave 3, the success that it eventually became. It is clear from reading Your First Year in Network Marketing that Renee Yarnell is cut from the same cloth as her remarkable and talented husband. Together, they make an unbeatable team. These two have been through the wars together. In Your First Year in Network Marketing, they write with brutal candor of the bad times as well as the good, imparting to readers an unusually balanced picture of what it really means to work in MLM business and what it really takes to succeed. You won't find any loose talk in this book about getting rich quick. The Yarnells made their millions the hard way. Their formula for success is severe and merciless. It demands strenuous work and superhuman persistence. But for those who stick it out, it offers the realistic hope of genuine financial freedom. This is a book that every first-time networker needs to read. It shows you exactly where the pitfalls lie and how to avoid them, and it does so in language that anyone can understand, reinforcing each point with inspiring real-life anecdotes. For those networkers who take their business seriously, Your First Year in Network Marketing is, quite simply, indispensable. Richard Poe, author of Wave 3 and The Wave 3 Way to Building Your Downline. Introduction. According to Webster's Dictionary, to survive means to remain alive or in existence, particularly to live on after the death of others. The fascinating thing about network marketing is that, in many instances, survival, i.e. staying in existence after others leave the business, is precisely what leads to dramatic wealth. Attrition is a considerable factor in our business. Yet we have rarely met anyone who has worked steadily in network marketing who doesn't eventually achieve success. And those rare individuals who do not succeed are usually their own worst enemies, constantly reinventing the wheel and complicating the simplest path to prosperity in the history of capitalism. Of course, priorities vary as widely as do people. While some choose network marketing as a means to an end, wealth, others simply enjoy it for its own merits. These folks join multi-level marketing to build their confidence, widen their circle of friends, and feel more productive. And in spite of the fact that they'll never earn huge incomes, you couldn't pry them away from this business with a crowbar. That kind of money was never really their goal, and you'll read many of their stories in this book. In fact, were we to double the number of stories of success, we still couldn't possibly elaborate on all the remarkable benefits to be derived by those who have chosen to participate in this wondrous industry. In network marketing, you persevere or you perish. Quitting is the one sure way to fail. Surviving the first year establishes a new distributor with a good basis for success. Our analysis shows that an estimated 95% of those who survive 10 years in network marketing become wealthy beyond their wildest expectations. These survivors have achieved either staggering financial rewards and/or total time freedom, that is, having all the free time to do the things that really matter to you with the people you love most. At this particular time in history, when traditional business offers so little security, network distribution is literally the last bastion of free enterprise. It's a system in which common people can invest a small sum and, through sheer tenacity and determination, rise to staggering levels of financial reward and personal freedom. It's a field devoid of the pitfalls of traditional business. Payroll, employee benefit costs, advertising, overhead, bookkeeping, and accounts receivable. Network marketing has an entirely different set of entrapments of its own. But once understood, these problems are easily overcome. We believe success is critically dependent on awareness from the very beginning of what these hazards are and how to overcome them. Hence this book. The network marketing industry traces its roots to the 1940s, when Nutrilite Products Incorporated launched the sale of food supplement products, and 10 years later, Amway introduced the sale of household products. Over the past 50 years, the industry has matured into a legitimate and efficient channel of distribution, ideally suited for the next wave about to break in the world of business. All we can say is thanks to Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel for having the vision to pioneer this industry. Network marketing annual sales are nearing $20 billion in the United States alone, being moved by an estimated 8 million people. Worldwide, more than $100 billion of a broad spectrum of products and services are being sold by an estimated 30 million independent network marketers. And keep in mind that we are still a very young industry with an expansive, promising future. Several studies have predicted that a third of all goods and services will be moved via network marketing in Western nations shortly after the turn of the century, and this could be as high as 50% in developing nations by the year 2110. Historically, the industry has been product-driven, selling from the traditional categories of personal care, vitamin/nutritional supplementation, home and family care, leisure, and educational products. Starting in the 1980s, services became a growing component, particularly in the deregulated telecommunications industry. Other services have included credit cards, financial services, insurance, prepaid legal services, travel, self-development, and motivational programming. With the forthcoming deregulation of the public utilities industries between 1998 and 2002, network marketing companies are positioning themselves to enter this market as well. The evolving maturity of our industry is clearly demonstrated by the 20 network marketing companies now traded publicly on NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, and many others are preparing to go public. In order to file an initial public offering, IPO, companies must establish standardized accounting procedures and be open to Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, scrutiny and control. Therefore, those companies that do go public must establish and maintain high standards of business practices, which elevates the character of the entire network marketing community. Investors' response to the publicly traded network marketing companies has been outstanding. Upline Magazine, an industry trade publication, maintains an Upline Index that tracks the financial performance of these public network marketing companies. In 1996, this index showed an increase in stock market value for the industry of more than 63%, as compared to the Dow Jones Industrial Average increase of only 33%, and the Standard & Poor's 500 Index increase of 34%. This nearly twofold gain of the network marketing industry over traditional corporations has created considerable excitement among savvy investors. The average person needs as little as $200 or $300 to get started in network marketing. Included in this figure is the purchase of some widely accepted products or services to be personally used and shared with others. Our industry is based on simple word-of-mouth recommendation of products and services. Distribution moves directly from the producer to the consumer, which cuts out all the intermediate agents and dealers who have nothing to do with production or consumption. As goods are distributed, the network marketer then receives compensation equal to the advertising budget of most large corporations. We've all known for years that word of mouth is the best form of advertising. Therefore, should it not also be the most lucrative? We have recorded a couple of dozen audio tapes during our collective 20 years in network marketing, and the one that is still the most requested is entitled, "If MLM is so great, why am I so depressed?" We think the reason people enjoy that tape is because we dared to tell the truth about the pitfalls in this industry. We admitted that, in spite of our success, we both considered quitting many times during those first years. Unfortunately, many people heard that audio tape far too late in their network marketing careers, and while they enjoyed a good chuckle because they could identify with our admitted first-year problems, most had already lost their upstart enthusiasm so necessary for success. And once people lose the drive and enthusiasm to carry them through the tough months, once that excitement is gone, in many cases, so too is the chance to achieve dramatic wealth. There is an often-quoted adage in this business. It's much easier to give birth to a new distributor than it is to resurrect a dead one. And yet, as the stories poured into our Swiss chalet from across the Atlantic, We realized that this book may indeed resurrect thousands of discouraged network marketers once they read some of the truthful anecdotes shared by so many legends of this industry. As a prelude to these stories that we hope will impact your life, it seems appropriate to introduce you to one of the legends, Doug Weed, who is with the oldest and largest MLM company. Before we tell his story, we would like to tell you a little about the man. The night the Gulf War began, you may have seen Doug Weed interviewed on television by Dan Rather. Doug was then serving as Special Assistant to President Bush. He has been quoted in Time, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, The Washington Post, The Wall Street Journal, and hundreds of other major publications, and his 26 books have sold over 3 million copies in 15 languages. Except for his 6-year political sabbatical, Doug Weed has dedicated his last 20 years to building his organization, as well as researching and writing about network marketing. Doug has filled auditoriums and soccer stadiums in Poland, Hungary, France, Turkey, the United Kingdom, Australia, Indonesia, and the United States with eager network marketers in just the last year. So what does a legend like Doug Weed do with his money, credibility, time freedom, and power? In 1979, working side by side with Pat Boone and Archbishop Bernard Cardinal Law of Boston, Doug founded what is today one of the world's premier relief organizations, Mercy Corps International. Last year, it distributed $73 million worth of medicine and famine relief to the troubled areas of our world. Let's now visit Doug's first year in network marketing through his own eyes, as he writes powerfully and humorously about his life experiences. Most of us involved in network marketing are gluttons for punishment, subconscious sadomasochists. Basically, we hate ourselves. That's why we get into networking in the first place. We see it as almost guaranteed suffering. I need this. This will really make me feel bad, which I so richly deserve. Wouldn't you know that I would end up successful, making money, traveling the world, meeting presidents, feeding the hungry? See? For me, nothing happens the way it's supposed to. I can't even fail right. In that sense, my early anticipated struggles in network marketing were a disappointment. I had no problem with rejection. I enjoyed every one of them. I was much quicker to respect and identify with the people who turned me down than those rare prospects whom I was actually able to recruit. Each rejection was only positive reaffirmation of my own negative self-image. Likewise, going without food or sleep or money was only what I deserved for making such an arrogant assumption that I could survive in network marketing dreamland. No, for me, the very real problem was not physical at all. It wasn't money, it wasn't people, it wasn't product, and it wasn't time. For me, the challenge was entirely between my own ears. It still is, incidentally. For me, the early struggle was only philosophical. Of course I can do it. Anybody can do it. The question, the very real, nagging, haunting question was, should I do it? Is it right? Is this what I am supposed to be doing with my life? Nothing is more wearisome and draining than self-doubt. Nothing is more effective at stripping off the fine edge from everything you say or do. Nothing can empty your emotional gas tank quicker. In that sense, for the first time in my life, I had met my match. Network marketing, which we see as such a sensitive machine, easily influenced my attitudes, was not a bit impressed with my emotional and psychological drama. It only seemed to crunch numbers like a mindless calculator. The secret for me, I was to learn, was simply to survive and then plod on. Above all, I couldn't quit. Over time, as I slowly fed this monster, it grew and grew exponentially. Believe. You have to believe, they kept telling me. I didn't even have to do that. 2 times 2 equals 4. You don't have to believe it. It is 4 anyway. And my business grew, in spite of myself. Tough? Emotionally, maybe. Spiritually, maybe. But those battles manifest themselves in failure as well as success. Poverty is no refuge for the war-shocked, weary soul. And so I conquered. And with the money, I co-founded Mercy Corps International. Last year, we gave away $73 million in food and medicine around the world. I found my why. We hope this book will help you find your why, too. It is our hope that this book will be given to new network marketers immediately after they sign up in order to warn them of the pitfalls before they lose their initial excitement. Because once it's gone, the chances of ever getting that driving enthusiasm back are virtually nil. The first year in this business is not just challenging. It is more akin to going into combat. It's about survival in the midst of widespread failure. You may not even sense the impending danger, and then all of a sudden you've been ambushed and have lost an entire leg of your downline. One of our primary objectives in writing this book is to take the stealth out of your battles so that you can see your adversaries well in advance, instead of having them creep up and catch you unaware. But equally important is that once you see the clash coming, you are equipped with the necessary skills and tools to win each confrontation and thus survive your first year in MLM. Believe us, in year one, survival is the name of the game. We know this both from personal experience and from statistics compiled by several companies that suggest well over 60% of all new network marketers quit in their first year, during the most important phase in the learning curve. Given the possibility of earning more each month working from home than a pediatric cardiologist with a staff of 10 earns in a year at his clinic, and it is possible, wouldn't any sane person be willing to invest a year or two studying MLM? And compared to the 12-year learning curve of doctors, isn't a year more palatable? While our industry's attrition rate is perhaps no higher than other professions involving overrides and straight commissions, it is nevertheless critical that we do our best to help new associates anticipate the inevitable conflicts that will arise, and equip them with the weapons they'll need to win those battles. It has been suggested that every great MLMer was a lousy MLMer first, and we concur. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life that when any of us first begin a new endeavor, we are, at least initially, vulnerable novices. Although the educational process in network marketing is relatively brief, it can be devastating to many new associates. The main reason is quite simple to understand. We all hate rejection, and none is worse than when we are mocked by friends, family, and acquaintances. It doesn't take very long for people to become discouraged when every day for the first 4 or 5 months they are subjected to eye-rolling ridicule from everyone they know, love, and respect. However, if you know exactly what to expect, and you aren't forced to appear foolish by cajoling, deceiving, or pestering those close to you, network marketing, even in the early stages, is quite fun and relatively painless. Preparation and anticipation are both critical. In this book, we will prepare you for most of the inevitable first-year challenges. We will teach you how to survive those conflicts by providing you with tactics that work. No theories, just facts. Most importantly, by preparing you in advance and sharing practical ways to survive each of these first-year challenges, we want to assist you in persevering. And if you do manage to survive the first year without quitting and without losing your sense of humor, the odds are great that you will continue long enough to become quite wealthy and successful. We've had a tremendous resource pool from which to draw our lessons and examples. For the past several years, we've been fortunate to teach America's only college-level certification course in network marketing with Harvard Ph.D. Charles King at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Many of the top networkers from every company, both in America and abroad, as well as many network marketing CEOs, have attended our classes, and we've spent quality personal time with many of them. As course instructors, we learned a great deal from our students. The experiences we share in this book have all happened, if not specifically to us, then to other leaders who have shared them with us. You'll recognize many of their names. So we feel confident that we've left very few stones unturned in our efforts to teach you the best survival strategies available to first-year distributors. Some of our industry's most successful international leaders survived their first year by utilizing the simple maneuvers laid out for you in this book. Survive your first year, and you've got a tremendous opportunity to join those legends. From Mark's father telling him that he is ruining the family name by doing MLM, to a hungry reporter asking the Attorney General of Nevada to investigate our company in hopes of uncovering a scandal or conflict of interest, while Renee was serving as chairman of the county commission, the two of us have survived some fairly devastating ambushes. We know what it's like to lose 6 of our 7 best leaders to a new upstart scam, that is, a company that misrepresents its earnings and/or product efficacy. And we've endured the humiliation of a close friend stealing an entire downline leg. Both of us fell into the management trap at different points in our respective first years, and wound up babysitting people who never would have succeeded no matter what we had done, because they weren't willing to do what we did. Both of us suffered the misplaced personal guilt of signing up a close friend who just couldn't make it in this business. We'll teach you how to survive all of those booby traps. In fact, we'll show you how to avoid them altogether on your path toward achieving all the money you aspire to earn and the time to enjoy it. In our first book, Power Multi-Level Marketing, we presented the theory behind MLM achievement. We tried to provide a paint-by-numbers system for both part-time and full-time success. But in this book, we are vitally concerned with practical applications, that is, with giving specific examples of what can and does happen to cause potentially successful distributors to prematurely end their careers. Many psychiatrists subscribe to the theory that 90% of the solution to any problem consists in the awareness of that problem's existence. We agree. Our fervent hopes and prayers are that by bringing to your attention all the problems that successful network marketers face in their first years, we will enable you to survive yours. We are sharing with you the practical, proven survival tactics used by many of the legends of this industry, so that you also can prosper abundantly. We're honored to have Dr. Charles King add a dimension to our book never before available, a quantitative analysis of network marketing from an academic perspective. Much of our most important data has been exhaustively researched and compiled by him. We've learned a great deal about the inner workings and technical marketing strategies of our profession from Dr. King. Many of his overviews are sprinkled throughout this book. His keen insights have been invaluable to us over the years, and his dynamic wife Sandra has directed all of our college certification courses. Nearly 1,000 students have graduated from our course to become network marketing professionals. So many thanks to Charles and Sandra King. Network marketing is indeed the greatest opportunity in the history of capitalism, and we consider ourselves very privileged to be able to participate in the industry. So naturally, when Prima Publishing contacted us about doing a book, not long after its marvelous success publishing Richard Poe's legendary Wave 3 books, we jumped at the opportunity with tremendous enthusiasm. As industry advocates, we believe that when any network marketing company fails, we all suffer. The future survival of our industry depends now on cooperation, not antagonism. Industry-wide success depends on elevating MLM companies and products rather than destroying the reputations, hopes, and dreams of our MLM competitors. Only then will network marketing become the most lucrative profession in all of free enterprise. Some network marketers mistakenly believe that the systematic ruin of their competitors is their best strategy for success. Little do they know that's exactly why they haven't begun to reach their potential. Unlike pioneers of the Old West who circled their wagons to fight off attacks, whenever one or more companies in our industry is threatened, we circle our wagons and fire inward. The old tactic of divide and conquer has been quite effective in the traditional business world. The traditional corporate pyramids have skillfully utilized the media and government regulators to similarly attack and stifle our growing industry, and all along they have hoped and prayed that we'd just go away. But we think it's time for them to stop fighting us. We respect all companies, not just those in our own industry, and we think they should do the same. Spanning our collective 20 years in the field of professional network marketing, we have been blessed to speak to hundreds of thousands of marvelous people in every part of the world. And while we've heard our industry denigrated in a variety of ways, not once have we heard it referred to as the rat race. This graphic description has been used on every continent and translated into every language to depict a traditional business. Rat race literally means a sprint between the world's most deplorable rodents, those who actually wiped out half the population of England during the Black Plague. And what is it they are so steadfastly pursuing? Refuse and rotten grain, in a hopeful pursuit to eat enough to see one more day. If for no other reason than to help people avoid that, we feel that this is a book whose time has come, because the human condition should be a joyous flight among eagles, not a frenzied dash among rodents. Betty Carter, formerly Senior Vice President for the Pacific Stock Exchange, recently shared a graphic comparison between the rat race of traditional business and the freedom of network marketing. In her own words, "When traditional business grows, an entire population can be reduced to rats. I moved to Seattle several years ago because of the quality of life. Today, as two corporations expand, the entire city has been forced into a mindless trek for several hours each day. The average speed on major highways has been reduced to 21 miles per hour. Crime and other societal problems are rising dramatically. No one can yet predict the negative ecological impact of the several thousand-person influx each month, but environmentalists are clearly worried. The point is this. When MLM corporations experience explosive growth, thousands of people go home and soar like eagles. When traditional corporations explode, people from all over the world assume the posture of rats and take to the streets. Thank God network marketing has given me the freedom to run errands during the times when others are confined to their little cubicles, but it will just be a matter of time before I have to look elsewhere for tranquility." We feel we have an awesome responsibility to educate as many people as possible to the fact that they need no longer participate in the god-awful stress of traditional linear business. We wholeheartedly agree with Art Williams, the author of All You Can Do, when he suggests that we should all become crusaders in an effort to save the masses, at least those who will listen, from their headlong pursuit into 80-hour weeks, mediocre incomes, and stress-induced coronaries. Because the American dream has become a nightmare for so many, and because network distribution is such a viable alternative to more traditional business professions, it is incumbent upon those of us who have reaped so much from this industry to begin to sow seeds for others. The book you are now holding in your hands is the Ultimate Survivor's Manual. Thanks to the hundreds of unselfish leaders from diverse and numerous companies who rose to the occasion by contributing their stories, you will learn how to dramatically alter your life. Knowing full well that they would be educating their competitors, they all dared to tell the unadulterated truth about how to succeed in our industry. That kind of unselfishness alone makes us proud to call ourselves network marketers. If only this book had been written a decade ago, we might not have had to witness the unnecessarily hasty retreat of so many dynamic people from our industry who were simply unprepared for the first year's battles. Because of this book, you won't have to endure the same unnecessary losses we did. And there is one promise we will make to you without reservation. There will be times when your eyes will well up with tears, or you'll laugh so hard at some of these legends' anecdotes about their early challenges that, like us, you will have to put the book down until you can wipe the mist from your eyes. These stories are commensurate with ushering in a new industry. We believe the next decade will bring a noticeable decline in these types of challenges, as new technology and distribution channels make way for network marketing in our world. We received countless illustrations and anecdotes, all of which were heartwarming and inspiring. We regret that, due to editorial restrictions, we were unable to include each and every narrative. We want to offer a special thanks to those legends of network marketing who, by sharing their stories, did something unprecedented in business. They dared to admit, after becoming legends, their innermost vulnerabilities and bouts with anxiety and depression. so that millions of others, including their own competitors, might be inspired to exit the 40-year plan and share in the American dream. Enjoy, and whatever else you do in the first year, just don't quit, because surviving is synonymous with thriving in our industry. Mark Yarnell and Renee Reed Yarnell, Gstaad, Switzerland. Chapter 1. Ignoring the Rejection Rocket. Make rejection your ally instead of your enemy. Network marketing is one of the most fun and rewarding businesses in the world, but eventually all network marketers are faced with certain widespread and universal challenges. No matter how long we participate in multi-level marketing, MLM, and no matter how successful we become, there is always the possibility that we will be shot down temporarily by the most prevalent and dangerous weapon of all, the rejection rocket. It can and will strike any time, rendering us virtually immobile, thus destroying our enthusiasm and excitement, which are the essential qualities for success. Rejection by your spouse. Everyone faces rejection in life, but what makes our form of rejection so very devastating is that it often comes from the very people we most love and respect: our spouse, our parents, our best friends, and business associates. We are convinced that rejection causes more people to fail in MLM than any other factor, and often they fail literally before they ever begin, because their approach is from the head, not the heart. Here's the classic scenario. Bob is at a transitional place in his life and open to a career change. He is receptive to listening to a new business concept. He goes to a network marketing meeting, and for the first time, everything makes sense. He may have considered working in this industry 4 or 5 times before, but he was never in a change mode during previous presentations. Now, because he's about to be laid off, he has a transitional mindset. So not only does Bob begin to see the wisdom in networking, but he actually finds himself enthusiastic about the earnings potential. Throughout the second half of the 1-hour presentation, he begins to make a mental list of the friends and associates whom he knows would be excellent at recruiting. Now, let's look at 2 possible outcomes. Regardless of whether Bob actually signs up or not, he's about to be attacked by the first adversary in this business. And unless the person conducting the presentation prepares Bob and the others for what is going to occur by presenting certain facts at the end of the first recruiting interview, Bob is going to quit before he ever begins. Later, we'll return to the particular details of this story, but first let's see what happens to Bob once he leaves the presentation. In fact, we'll examine several scenarios. Because the timing is right in his life, Bob is excited. And because Bob knows several people who will be naturals at recruiting, he can hardly wait to break the news to them that he has found the ultimate opportunity. If the person who introduced Bob to MLM is one of those folks who signs people up at the first interview, Bob may actually fill out a distributor agreement, promising to come back on Saturday for training. More than likely, he won't be asked to sign up at the first meeting, but will instead promise to think about the business and call the presenter back with his answer. However, unless the recruiter carefully prepares Bob for rejection, Bob is now set up for failure. He's excited, though he may not have admitted that to anyone yet. But Bob is about to be blindsided by the rejection rocket, an inevitability seldom explained properly by most recruiters. Because he hasn't been trained, here's what happens. First, Bob corners his wife. He's really excited, and the conversation goes something like this. "Honey, our worries may be over. I think Phil has given us a gift from God. You remember how I explained the cutbacks at my company, and how I told you I could actually be one of the future fatalities?" "Yeah, Bob, but you don't really think after all these years that you could get laid off? I mean, you weren't serious, were you?" His wife finds this inconceivable. "Honey, listen, it doesn't matter. I was just over at Phil's, and he and Nancy have gotten into a new business that looks really great. I can't believe how much money there is to be earned and freedom to be gained. Honey, Phil is about to get his first big check. And I brought home some samples of the products. Nancy is blown away by this cream and shampoo. Here, I brought some home for you to try. She wants you to call her. The rejection rocket is aimed directly at Bob's head and is about to be launched. Bob's wife takes the 2 packets of moisturizer and shampoo from him, looks at them, then at him incredulously. Wait a minute, Bob. You're serious, aren't you? Let me get this straight. You've been with your company for 7 years. We have a company car, health insurance, and we just bought our dream home. Your boss loves you like his own son and is about to recommend you to the Golden Acres Country Club. They lay off a few lousy executives, and now you're seriously thinking about giving up a legitimate career, and all those years I suffered to put you through your MBA program to do some pyramid scheme. Please, Bob, tell me this is a bad dream. Tell me I'm not hearing you say this. Bob grins and reaches out to touch his wife's arm, and she jerks it away, snarling like a cornered wharf rat. He hasn't seen that look on her face since he accidentally backed over the puppy last summer. No, honey, you aren't listening. We've got a chance here to get in early. We can be earning over $20,000 a month in a year. Do you realize how many hours I've been working? The baby cries when I pick her up because I'm virtually a stranger. They've laid off 35 men and women this quarter, and I could be next. Honey, look, I'm telling you, Phil and Nancy are our friends. They aren't— Oh, come on, Bob, interrupts his wife. You yourself have said that Phil is irresponsible. He failed at that tire company. He failed at life insurance. Then he tried that stupid greeting card deal, and we both laughed at how dumb that was. Bob, you're not thinking straight. She softens and launches a new tactic. Bob, honey, we're set. You said so yourself. And besides, what am I going to tell my parents? That you left your company to sell shampoo door to door? Bob has just heard the same spousal arguments that countless other men and women have heard over the years. It could easily have been Bob leveling the same objections at his wife, who just returned from her first serious network marketing presentation. Often it's the wife who is bombarded by personal affronts from her husband. Had Bob simply said nothing until he could get his wife to Phil and Nancy's for a legitimate presentation, the rejection rocket would have never been launched. Or, had the approach been emotionally positive instead of intellectually negative, the outcome might have been different. But keep in mind that even if the circumstances differ, the outcome is often the same. This discussion could have happened on a Sunday morning following a Saturday training session in which Bob had already signed a distributor application. It doesn't really matter. The point is this. We are convinced that as many as 50% of all potentially successful networkers fail before ever getting started because their sponsor does not prepare them for the spouse rejection rocket. The tragedy is that those very circumstances could quite easily be minimized, if not completely eliminated, through preparation and proactive measures. It's the responsibility of every recruiter to fully prepare prospects for rejection, then provide them with the tools to overcome rejection. Phil should have insisted that Bob bring his wife to a full-blown presentation, either at this first briefing or at another one soon to follow. In addition, he should have said emphatically, Bob, don't try to explain this to your wife until you have more information, or better yet, bring her to us. Rejection by family and friends. Before presenting solutions to the previous problem, let's first scrutinize another scenario that occurs frequently. Although the participants are somewhat different, the outcome is equally predictable and negative. We begin by assuming that Bob's wife is as excited as he is about this network marketing opportunity. Let's also assume that Bob has signed up, and both he and his wife have been trained and prepared for any and all rejection. Initially, Bob decides to take the lead until their new infant is a little older. His wife will join Bob later. Bob can anticipate the primary objections used by prospective MLMers and has memorized a response for each one. In fact, he's quite proud of his knowledge, and is even perhaps a little cocky about his ability to overcome objections. Bob is excited about his new skills of persuasion, believing with a smug self-confidence that he can effectively counter each objection. He's convinced that in this battle of wits, his prospects are unarmed. He fully expects to win any and all debates about network marketing and prove to each of his friends that his new venture is far superior to traditional business. Equipped with that knowledge, he picks up the telephone and begins calling his 25 best prospects, those people whom he would love to spend the rest of his life with in a partnership. Usually one of 3 outcomes is predictable, so let's evaluate all 3. Winning the battle. The first outcome is what we call winning the battle. Bob has just gotten past his close friend's secretary and is beginning his prospecting conversation. This is a man Bob has known since high school. Their lives are quite different now, so they see each other infrequently, but have nevertheless retained their warm friendship. The conversation begins with small talk, but let's move ahead to the actual dialogue about the business. Bob begins his approach. You know, Steve, the other reason I called is to try to set up a convenient time when you and Sally can come over and take a look at a new business my wife and I have. Steve cuts in. Bob, it sounds like one of those pyramid deals to me. Don't tell me you and Christy have been sucked into one of those scams. Of course, Bob has been trained, albeit improperly, to handle objections, and he's armed for battle. Actually, Steve, I can understand your reluctance to look at a deal like this, but all I ask is that you remain open-minded for a 45-minute presentation. Let me ask you, Steve, would Tuesday or Thursday be better for you? Bob is proud of his canned response, but as we'll see, his pride is very fleeting. Come on, Bob. You and I go way back. You can cut out the memorized speeches and shoot me straight. Sal and I aren't the least bit interested in one of those deals. In fact, my own father got sucked into some gold scam last summer and put over $5 grand into the deal, never signed up one person, and has a garage full of overpriced gold coins gathering dust, Steve says gently but firmly. At this point, or really before the conversation had even gone this far, Bob should have realized that Steve isn't in the right time in his life to see this opportunity. He isn't the slightest bit open to the business, and anything said from here on will only further alienate Steve, and therefore hurt Bob's chances to approach his friend at a later date when he may be more receptive. In fact, unbeknown to Bob, he may actually do irreparable damage to their friendship by continuing to pursue the matter. There's a specific 6-month rule we'll present later in the book that will help you avoid Bob's dilemma, but for now let's assume Bob is unaware of it. Unfortunately, Bob is relentless. He knows he's in a great business and believes that if he can respond properly to each objection, he can perhaps sign up Steve and his wife. Because Steve is a professional who knows many quality people, Bob is absolutely convinced that, of all his friends, Steve has the greatest potential. Bob believes that all he has to do is skillfully overcome his friend's objections, and he's got a winner on his front line. He's sure he will win the battle. But it won't happen. And the reasons it won't happen are simple. Steve is not in the right time in his life for change, and Bob approached his friend improperly. In this particular scenario, the objections and responses to them will probably continue for another 5 or 10 minutes. In a last-ditch effort to shut Bob up, Steve may actually agree to go to a presentation. Of course, the chances that he will actually attend are slim to none. In this winning the battle scenario, more than likely Bob's prospect will be a no-show, and in the long run, he will even lose the war. Unable to apply the 6-month rule, the battle will never again be waged, let alone won. In other words, another potentially great network marketer is history. And you can bet Steve will tell 10 other friends at a future cocktail party just how bizarre and frenzied their former friend Bob has become. Kiss 10 more possible networkers goodbye. Positive negative. The second outcome is what we call the positive negative. In this scenario, the very instant Bob mentions his intentions, Steve jumps in and aggressively points out how much he hates business deals with friends, detests MLM or any other home business pyramid, and adds, "By God, it better never surface again in the course of our friendship."